We're live, I think. Good evening. How are you doing? Daddy Orca, Miss Emma and Leah. Good evening. Yeah, Wednesday, Plodology, but again this week, like last week, Plod won't be here. You'll probably be in the chat somewhere along the line at some point. It's going to end tonight at 10 p.m. Could give it an extra 15 minutes depending on what's been said. So 10:15, the very latest tonight, guys. Biker will be on soon, and we'll see what guests we get as well. So I think I'm live anyway. Mans B, how you doing? Good evening, Mans. Just give me a sec, guys. Right. I'm sorted. Okay. Hiya, John. How you doing? BAFTA. Good evening. Gypsy Auditor UK. Good evening. No drama as always, guys. Let's just keep it clean. Let's have a good chat. Wednesdays is mainly about, you know, people just want to come on and get things off the chest, really. It's just talking about it. That's what Wednesday's about, really. A good chat and hopefully some good advice and for people. I mean, Ben's been on the last few weeks. He's been going through a hell of a lot. Most of us are birding, and he's started coming on here and started feeling better. So it's that kind of thing, you know. Hopefully, people feel better by the end of the live rather than still down in the dumps or whatever. So yeah, any questions and things like that, just fire away. Okay. How you doing, Spike and Claire? How you doing? Good evening. I'm good, thanks, mate. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a Gypsy. It's just a break, mate. From, I mean, there's loads of stuff coming up, auditing wise, loads. So it's just I want to keep active, and I've always wanted to do this for a long time. Abandoned buildings. So it's not like, what the hell's he doing? It's like, yeah, it's always been in my mind. One of those ideas I've had. So, and I'm enjoying it, but it's not easy. I'm good, thanks, mans. It's not easy climbing over stuff and struggling through brambles and nettles and stuff, but it takes me back to my childhood, let's say. I used to do it then, but with no camera. So yeah, I feel 21 again when I'm doing this stuff. I've done one today, it'll be uploaded in a bit. And there's loads more as well to come as well, in between other videos, because that's what I do, different types of videos. I'm sure you can all agree on that. Mans, I'm good. How are you? How are you? Cheers, Claire. Yeah. That last bit, I think that was the first abandoned building I went into, but I thought it was that crap. I was there hours and it was a long video, and so I had to edit and all that. And I looked back at it and I thought, nah, I'll keep it, but I don't think I'll put that up. And I went to go to one on, when did I put that up? The night before last. So on that day, I went to go to another, but I couldn't get in. So I thought, go on, I'll put that one up instead then. You know what I mean? News now. How are you doing, mate? Yeah, right next door to a park, Claire. and kids are in and out there all the time. You know, it's a good job I'm small to get into some of these places. Believe me. Talking to Plod earlier, and I'm saying I'm honestly I'm full of scratches and bruises everywhere, nettle stings, and my body's aching. What are you talking about news now? It's always about this time. Oh, Mans, I forgot you're an Arsenal fan. I'll not be a sec, Ben. Ben's waiting to come on, guys. Leah M's in there. You'll see channel links going up all the time, so keep your eye on them. Arsenal, yeah, I'm not a football fan, me, Mans. But I saw a video last night. Ryan, he was actually in the town I live at that football match, and it all kicked off apparently. And I think they were live and recorded what happened. But Tommy Mason, yeah, Tommy, yeah, going to cover as many aspects of that game as I can. I've actually been in touch with an urbexer, if you like. He sends me links on Instagram, and he's given me some great advice. There's a possible meetup with him who's experienced, and I'm just learning how to find these places and how to get to them and the history of them and who's done it before and when was the last time it was done and all that. It's an exciting thing, really. I mean, I've not come across anywhere what's had lots of things left behind. The big mansion house that was Victorian, they left all the fire, cast iron fire surrounds in and things like that. And I've learned a bit more about that place. It was a vet's and it became something else, and then it closed down, then it was opposite. Loads of history behind these places. And I love it, honestly, guys, because a lot of you know I like my history, and my channel's a mixture of things. Tommy Mason, run. Yeah. Some places you got nowhere to run. So I do carry some fire gel spray with me. Anyway, I've always got that in my front pocket ready. Right, I think I've said hello now for 8 minutes. And someone asked about the abandoned buildings, so I just thought I'd stick that in there. So I'll bring my... Oh, why have you done this? Who's my co-host now? I'm going to have to bring the other side of ology on first.
Good evening, Dino.
Good evening. You had me worried then for a sec when it was a bit silent.
I know, sorry. Good evening to everyone in the chat. Okay. I'm only going to be on here. Good evening, Eddie. I'm only going to be on here for a couple of minutes. Eddie's still standing in for me, and Dino's still taking all the brunt of it. So I just wanted to sort of just say thanks to everyone in the chat, and thanks for all the people that have been putting up all the lovely messages and so on. I will be looking and going over the actual chat. I'm not 100% yet, so that's why I'm not going to be on here. I may sort of jump in and out during the evening, but no, I will be in the background. I will be listening, and I may jump on from time to time. But I just wanted to say big love to everyone that is in the chat. And thank you very much for all the love. Okay, Mansby, okay, Miss Emma, Leah, okay, everyone else, okay, Claire, John, okay. I just wanted to say thank you for all the love. Okay, evening, Ben.
Evening.
Evening, Ben. Evening, Biker.
Just a quick one before you go, Quad.
Yep.
I've got my first video coming out on Sunday.
Okay.
And I got shirts under Section 43 today.
Did you?
When I'd done it.
How did it feel? Did you feel like you had been violated?
They handcuffed me.
They handcuffed you. Okay. And were you standing on
Yeah.
public property? Were
HMP
you
Isle of
standing on
Wight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So where were you? Are you there, Ben?
Ben,
Gone quiet.
something might have happened there. Yeah.
Right, Edge, I'll be gone in a minute. Okay. Good evening, Eddie.
Oh, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm slowly getting there, mate. Slowly getting there.
Yeah.
Can I just say thank you for standing in for me? And I know it's going to be a little bit longer. But I'm taking my time this time for my recovery and just slowly sort of working and getting. But I just wanted to let people know, yes, I'm home now. I am recovering and I'm doing good. And I just wanted to say big love to everyone. That was the main important thing. And just to sort of also let Dino know that I am here. Okay. I know that he's got you there, but he's not by himself.
Yeah, no problem. Standing in for you, mate. Like I said before, I'm just a twat in a chat, mate. Not a problem.
You should get that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, twat in a chat. That's
That's
all
really
right,
good.
Joanne,
Evening, Pink Rose.
Pink Rose, nice to see you again. Actually, I believe you've had a bit of a break and you've come back with a video or
Good
two.
enough.
MBCK's in there, the actual himself.
Can you hear me?
Emma, yeah, John, and whoever else has joined. Good evening. I think Ben's having trouble there.
Yeah. So what I'll do,
Technical.
Dino, is I'm going to jump back off. Okay. I'll listen to you in the chat. And yeah, guys, I will be in the chat. As I said, I may jump back on a bit later, but yeah, I just need to sort of just relax and just sort of sit back. So I will be in the chat. So yeah, have a good evening with Dino and Eddie, everyone, and I'll speak to you all soon. Okay, Dino, have a good
Cheers,
one,
mate.
mate. Eddie, have a good one, and I will chat to you soon.
All right, mate. Take care.
Right. Thanks, mate. Speak to you in a bit.
No worries.
No more lies. How you doing, mate? Good one. John Tracy as well. Giorgio. Someone asked me a question earlier. Have I gone self-employed? Who was that? Was it you, John? Oh, sorry, Mad Max. Yeah, 2 ads before you see anything, Steve-O. Tough. 5 seconds. Pink Rose, yeah, No More Lies, and Miss Emma and Steve-O, John Tracy. That's it. I've caught up. Sorry, mate. I just want to catch up.
Sorry, I never see any ads. I don't see one single ad on anybody's streams or videos.
Let me just see what I get on it.
I block them, mate.
No, I just put it on this. Yeah. Anyway, I don't like ads either when I go to watch a vid. It is annoying, especially when they cut in halfway through or whatever. So, no, Steve-O, you tell him yourself, right? Leave the guy alone, okay? He's upgrading again soon from his moped. He's working his way back up to a.
Here we go.
I forgot what your favourite bike was now.
I'm not telling you now. You can bollocks all lot of you.
He's a trouble causer. He is. That's Steve-O.
He is terrible.
Causing trouble again.
He's atrocious.
Can I just say one thing before we kick in proper? I've had a couple of private emails this week, sorry, and it's regarding what's been happening on my last live or two, and it's from a supporter of mine, long-standing and always friendly in the chat, always good comments in the lives and on the videos. Uncle Ron, mate, how you doing? Now, on Friday, I noticed, Steve, when I am talking to you, right, that you were saying get rid of John, talking about Cockney John here, previously known as John, right? Always been good to me. No, you got kicked off on Friday, and I did ask, whoa, what's happened? What's been said? Nobody answered me. Something happened, obviously, for people to kick him. But then I got a message, and because of that, he's unsubbed from me. And it's because of Steve-O. I don't know why you got rid of him, or whoever did, but it was you who wanted to get rid of him. You can come on and chat about it if you want. But apparently it was because of something he said on someone else's channel or video. But so unless something's said to me on my Friday, before you kick them, if I say what's happened, will you let me know, please? If I've missed something, and if it is bad, yeah, kick them. But if nothing has been said about me on my channel, live or anything, and it's been said on yours or whatever, and just because he's appeared on mine in the chat and you don't like what he said on yours, don't kick him off mine. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I'm coming from. Do you know what I mean? If he's upset someone else who's a moderator of mine on their channel, and just because he's on my live, then you shouldn't kick him for what's been said at your end. Unless he's said something to me or anyone in our chat or to do with that particular night. So I just wanted to say that, Steve-O, you know what I'm talking about. Our cash is in, guys, in the chat. And so is Buzz. Where have you been? Where have you been, Buzz? I know you've been busy as always. Cheryl H, how you doing? Buzz fam. There's a few Buzz fam folks in here tonight. Buzz, mate, pop on for 5 if you want. Come and have a chat. I've not spoke to you for ages. Be nice to see Buzz on. Ben, I'm going to bring Ben on. Sorry, Ben. Auditing with David. Anyone else new who's joined that? I've not shut up now. I get in trouble for that, biker, right? So I'll bring Ben on. I'll take a breath.
Sorry about that. I'll apologise now. My signal may go because I'm in the Isle of Wight.
Okay. Right, no worries, mate.
And I can't get Wi-Fi. Pardon?
You're very
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm in the Isle of Wight. We've got no,
listen.
we've got no Wi-Fi on that. If I go back in the hotels, you can get Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it does sound a bit faint, that, mate, doesn't it? Hee-haw, bugger all. Why the title? It's been going on now for about 5 weeks. Because it's a joint chat on a Wednesday between myself and Plod. So we've just joined the 2 words together, that's all. It's a 50-50 thing on a Wednesday. So that's the answer, really. On that one, hee-haw. No need to apologise, Steve-O. You're a very honest man, and you take things like that on the chin, but it's true, you know I'm straight, mate. You know where I'm coming from on that score, so thanks for that. He's coming on now. Don't start frigging apologising and shit like that. Uncle Ron, how you doing? Top 50, how you doing? Sean Atwood cancelled. Right. Buzz, are you going to nip on for 5?
Hello?
Then we can all catch up with what you're doing. Steve, are you there?
Hello?
And Ben's gone as well, his Wi-Fi. How you doing, mate?
Oh, fella.
What the hell? Can
Just a bit faint.
Yeah, just
It's
move
very,
your lips.
very faint.
Just move your lips, mate. Then it sort of words come out. Then
Can
I think your
anyone
mic's
hear
right
me?
down. Your mic is very low, Steve. We can just about hear you, but if you could turn your mic up a bit.
Can anyone hear me now?
yep,
A bit better, yeah. Pretty Rose, good evening. Steve was always struggling with his bloody... He's not technical at all, guys. Well, bear with you. I'll bring Buzz on instead, right?
Dino, bear
How you
with
doing,
me.
Jack?
All right. Hello, hello,
Don't
hello.
let him on.
Hello, 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 you.
Oh, hello, you little rascal. that's a BCK. That's how he calls me. You little what is it? I love what he says. He goes, MB, what is it? Oh man. Oh, what is it called? Oh my, he says something, and I love him when he says it. How's things?
Can you hear me or not?
yeah, we can hear you, mate.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'll mute me thing.
Yeah, you've muted. Right.
Long time. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I know we've only spoke briefly over the last,
Month.
couple of months, but there's been loads of shit going on as well, haven't there? Like, so,
yeah, there has. And how are you? Are you doing? How are you keeping? First of all, your health.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just carrying on, mate.
Good. Good.
Crack on, and
I always like to catch up with you, my
How
man.
are you, Buzz?
I'm good, natural. How are you, sir?
How are you, Buzz?
What's the word he keeps saying?
Bonnie
lad.
lad.
That's it. Bonnie
lad.
Please.
Bonnie
MB,
Buzz.
please get that T-shirt done up, and I swear I am gonna buy it straight away. And I swear that saying, oh man, I love it. I want it as a ringtone and everything. I love it. So,
Auditing, all, how you doing, Zoe and Jack? Good evening.
What about cockheads?
no, Bonnie lad's the one, mate.
Dino, stop interrupting me. Dino, Bonnie lad, can I give you a little bit of advice? Will you stop talking to your fans in the audience when two superstars are having a little chat like...
I can't hear Bikereddie talking at all. What are you talking about?
I can't get
I'm
a fucking
talking,
word
but
in
Biker isn't.
edgeways,
So what do you
why.
mean two superstars?
Yeah, because of you, mate. You won't fucking shut up and let me get a word in.
Yeah, but you've had it now because Buzzy's on and Steve, I may as well go to sleep for half an hour. Take it away,
Hey,
guys.
I've only come on to say hello. I'm not coming on. Like, I
glad
miss you,
you're
bro.
there.
Honestly, I miss you, and you know, I hope you're doing well. I hope your health's well and stuff. And
cheers,
yeah. No, and it's
you
good.
too.
You've missed him.
I've missed, bro. I have. I've missed the good old Dino. Me and Dino used to be close, and I feel like we're just missing each other. Yeah.
Have you missed me?
It's just
I miss you all. I miss everybody.
You don't even know me, you pillock. You don't miss me.
I hope you weren't within 9 1/4 inches, Bonnie lad, because that's sexual assault. Huh?
9 1/4 inches.
you don't even know what that is, Steve-O.
Listen, Buzz, I'm going to give you your airtime. Clear enough.
No, it's not airtime, bro. Don't worry about me. I just wanted to come and see Dino. I want to make sure he's all right. That's all. It's good. Mate, it's good. It's good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know I'm fucking about it. I only came on here to give Eddie some grief, but he's gone all quiet, so I thought I'll give it to you instead. I'm thinking about going to Blackpool as well, by the way.
Yeah.
You were going to Blackpool on the 28th. I'm coming
yeah, but I've got it. Yeah.
I'll scrape you off the pavement, put you in a black bag. That's not going to happen, kid. You're going to be safe.
I can do. Listen, if you, as long as you go to Blackpool and just say Bonnie lad to the police, I'm happy, mate. You just do that for me, my mate. That's awesome.
Right. Good evening, Buzz.
Oh, good evening. Listen, Plod, I've got something. I've got something to tell.
Far too fucking big, mate.
Natural, you carry on dreaming about your 9 1/2 inches. Go on then, Buzz. What did you want to say?
9 1/4 Plod. I'm exaggerating.
Dino, you know what it is. We're all big characters, bro, and it's a shame because it's your show, bro. So you lead
away.
the way. You lead the way, bro. I'm here for you.
I get in trouble. I've not shut up for frigging 25 minutes. Then I get in trouble off Biker for it. He can't get a word in because Steve-O's come on.
Okay.
Plod went off, he's come back on. You've come on. And no, how come you've not said hello to Buzz in the chat? Anyway, Auditing, I've seen you in there and everything as well. There's 2 more guys backstage. There's only enough room for one.
Buzz, you wanted to say something to me quickly and then I'll jump off.
Yeah, Plod. Right.
I'll fuck off as well, Dino. See you, mate. Everyone kick.
Yeah, all right, Steve-O. He's the hardest work on anybody's live, that fella is. He's got to be, hasn't he? and off alive too, but we'll not go into that.
Yeah, don't make me laugh, please.
I promise. Come on. You know, you've just gone through some stuff, so yeah, please do not burst.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So on then, Buzz, what did you want to say?
So obviously, first, I don't know what's been going on with. I know it's old news now, and just give me a recap of what's been happening. Like, is everything closed? Everything good? Everyone happy? That's good. Yeah, good.
Yeah, definitely. For me, mate.
I'm just getting on with my life.
Go on, Plod. That's what I like to hear, mate.
Yeah. I've just cracked on, Buzz. The only thing I've done different is something different, which is these abandoned buildings.
I'm loving them.
That a change is as good as a rest, even though it's more tiring than doing audits and shit. But I'm liking the change. When I come back, I'm going to be busy in the next week or so doing audit. So when I go back to that, I'll be all refreshed,
brilliant,
ready for that again. So
there's
I've just carried on. I've not let anything. Yeah, things hurt, and I've lost 80 subs and whatever now, and hurtful comments and threats. I've had all that, the usual stuff. But then, you get back up. You've been knocked down a bit. You get back up. You just crack on with it and get on with it, because time's special, isn't it? Time. I'd rather not waste it and just crack on. I could easily have sat at home dwelling in whatever emotion, but I just thought, same every morning, I'll get up, right, I'm in the mood, let's go, I'll go here today, or I'll do that today, rather than, oh, woe is me. So yeah, I've done nothing wrong.
No, I don't know what anyone's done. To be fair, I didn't understand all of it anyway. To be honest, I didn't get it all, but I'm just glad that you're obviously doing good and everything. You're feeling a lot more better, and it's so true. You definitely need that break. Everyone needs that break, don't they?
Or just a change in direction, Buzz. I think.
And it's so true. It's so true. And I took a week break, last couple of weeks ago, and it did me a world of good. I've come back a more refreshed man with more patience, more understanding, and you know what's helped me? Honest to God, my gaming. It's really brought me. It's allowed me just to relax. And and I know it's not for everyone, but I do it on other channels now. I don't do it on my own, but yeah, it allows me just to, because it is stressful. It's a stressful game. We've been talking about this for weeks now, haven't we? And
definitely. I think it's better to carry on doing something rather than, like I've just said, like you can say, oh, I'll have a rest, but you can still have a rest and still do something which is not what you've been doing consistently. It's just having a change. Good evening, Auditing with David and Cat's on as well, guys.
Yo.
Hey.
David, I've not seen you for a while.
Dave.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yourself? How have you been?
Yeah, not bad. Slowly recovering.
Good. How's everyone else been?
Yeah, I'm good, my mate. Yeah,
good.
Thanks. How are you? Well,
still fine, mate. So we're twatting a chat, no problem.
Oh, that's good. I just got to do something one sec. Excuse me, it's just a Larry show.
Excuse me, what you saying? I think we've pulled back on that because some people don't know how to take a joke, and people don't know how to have fun. They just need to lighten up. I ain't here to cause anyone stress. I don't want. It's not even a figure of anybody. It's just a voice I did once on this app, and then it's just stuck to me, and that was it. And that's why you've not seen much of the Larry.
You can tell you're not taking mick out of people. There's going to be people that say you are, isn't there? Of course, there always will be.
You can't do anything. You can't do right for doing wrong. That's it. People enjoy it.
That's
If people
true,
enjoy
mate.
it, then that's great. And it's unfortunate that then people who enjoy it now can't enjoy it now anymore because of these haters, just little, left-wing nutters. That's what they are. These, you can't do that. You can't do that. What are you doing that for? Dude, get off YouTube, bro. There's people taking shits and filming it, man.
If we all listen to these haters and we all took these comments on board, none of us would have channels. It'd be as simple as that. None of us would have.
We wouldn't.
Very true, Kat. Very, very true.
People just need to let go and start allowing people to breathe. Stop taking it so serious,
I started saying to him is stop spreading hate. Instead of spreading hate, and stop tuning into channels that you quite clearly don't support. Go do something you're happy with. Go make your own channel. Go do something you want to do, rather than trying to bring somebody else down because you don't like it. It makes no sense.
Amen, Kat. Big respect. And that's it. That's exactly it, Dino. What do you think?
Yeah.
You can't dwell on anything. It'll just make you ill.
I always say that. I don't like tennis, and I always say it, but I don't like tennis. That's the truth. But I'm definitely not going to go to a tennis live stream and go and watch it because it's not for me. I don't watch it.
Go on, Buzz. I'd like to see you in your whites.
I'll do that. but one thing I won't do neither is coming to other live streams and saying, "Did you see that tennis player the other day? Oh my God, he's an absolute disgrace. You should have seen him. He did this." Like, if you don't like it, I don't even talk about it. I mean, just turn it off and don't. Move on. But yet these people pretend they don't like me, but yet they'll go on a mission for the next month.
Yeah, they'll keep watching it, keep watching it. There must be something good about it, because if it were me, like anyone, if you don't like something, you wouldn't watch it, would you? I wouldn't go to a tennis match because I don't like it.
Exactly.
And then people say, how come you don't like tennis? What's wrong with you? You don't like tennis? Are you kidding? Are you joking? No, I don't like tennis, so I won't watch it. So if anyone keeps bugging me about it, I can forget about it straight away because I'm not really involved with it. I don't want to. People just try and stay involved with things, not for the love of the game, if you like, but for the love of the thrill of the chase.
I've got evidence, which I'm about to. I've got evidence, which I'm about to. Sorry, I'm just going to say this because I've got evidence, which I'm about to leak, that there's police officers diverting us from what we're doing, purposely doing it.
Won't surprise me. Would not.
No, honestly, God, wait till you see this text. What I got.
In what way?
The police officer in Lancaster, her brother, they don't get on. He's text me what his sister's doing and what she's willing to do and the levels of what she's willing to do to stop us. I'm not saying she's the one doing it, but the text message is obviously, what they're doing. They're causing us trouble. Just be honest. The people who give you hate, be honest.
They're the trolls. Probably it's them leaving all the hate messages and trying to turn us against each other to get us fighting amongst ourselves. Probably them.
They're not all police officers, but there is police officers jumping on the bandwagon. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. Just like they're coming on lives and things like that. Speaking of that, how are you doing, Auditor Frauditor? Good evening.
Yeah, speaking about them a bit.
You're not getting on there, and you can say what you want in the chat, but I'm not falling for you like some people.
Ready for this? Let me answer it. This is Auditor Frauditor.
I'm just going to quickly say, I'm going to jump off, okay, and I may jump back on after.
Yeah, this is how pathetic these haters are. Why do you go by 4 different surnames? First of all, James is. I'm not going to leak that. When as a DJ, is Fatboy Slim his real name? Yes or no?
You have
is
stage name. You have
stage. Is Buzztex my real name? Is Buzztex my real name? Dude, is Live Free's real name? Is Catwoman a real name? Is Plodology a real name? Is it? No. You have different aliases. As a DJ, you go for different aliases for different music you play.
Don't explain yourself. I even told
the thickest 2 planks, man. They think there's something scammy going on because you have different surnames or you have different aliases. You have different aliases.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, Auditor Frauditor, right? This is what you do all the time, right? You don't explain what you mean. Okay, so he has got.
You're not getting anywhere. You're not achieving anything. Go away.
So if he has got 4, 5, 10 different
aliases,
what aliases, whatever.
Yeah.
What's your question? What about it?
What's the problem? Yeah. again,
So why does that bother you? What you're trying to say is an undercover agent or something? What is, in fact, every time you come on and say something, you never make a point. What's your point?
Yeah.
Just put that in one sentence. My point is this.
You know
You
what it
haven't
is?
got one, have you?
Yeah, but
You're a failed cop.
Yeah, there we go. That's it. They seem to think because you go under different aliases, people seem to think that you're doing something wrong. Plodology, Deanology, Dino. Are these all your real names? No, Dean is your name, right?
Or is it?
Or is it? Exactly. Okay. Okay. So there we go. We don't know, but yet nobody's questioning your aliases. Dean's name's now Plodology.
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? Yeah, there we go. Who are you? Auditor, frauditor. Why don't you reveal your name? You're going
You've
under
got
an
the
alias.
worst name on YouTube, by the way. AF.
It's crazy.
Absolutely unbelievable. Go, in fact, stay in the chat because you're always polite. You don't make a point.
Bro, until someone makes a valid point about anybody, I don't believe it. And even when people come in saying things about other auditors and stuff, I just delete them and get rid of them. For me, I'm not interested for my channel. It's not for, because all they're doing is hoping that someone's in the chat. They're not bothered about us. They're hoping that someone's in the chat's going to listen to them and go, "Oh, there could be some truth in this." Well, you're as thick as them. You must be. You're as thick as them.
Can I just say hello to Snowy 1967 because that person's been fantastic to me. Very supportive. Thanks, Snowy. Thanks for all your nice comments and everything.
I've got a question for Buzz. Are you purchasing this Buzz van?
I might do. Have you seen it?
Hey,
listen, I don't know much about vans.
We'll have to pimp it out and everything. We'll have to put it in one of them garages and pimp it out.
On the side of it says a football club.
Auditors are coming through. Watch out.
You like it, don't you? He's good, isn't it, Kat? I'm not thinking I'm a businessman. Who says I'm a businessman? Dude, who said Uncle Ron saying Buzz thinks he's a businessman?
You are a businessman. You are a businessman. You're putting your own. You are.
All right, but I'm not portraying I am though. You know what I mean? Like,
no, of course not.
What
but
part
I mean,
of my?
I bet you're a better businessman.
I understand why you walk. I understand it. You know why? Because we're building one of the strongest forces in this community has ever seen. It must hurt you, bro. It must hurt. I'm sorry to blow me on trumpet here, but it must hurt you, yeah? It must really hurt. Bless you.
Uncle Ron, right? It's like a bit like auditor fraud to this. It's like, what have you just said? But you said you're self-employed. Okay, so if he said I'm self-employed, which I don't think he has, so what? What are you getting at? I don't. Are you just trying to dig information out of someone? Watch Coronation Street every day and then watch repeats for the rest of the night. That kind of soapy, unrealistic way of looking at things. So what if he's self-employed? So what if he's not? So what if he's on YouTube? So what if he's not? So what if he's got 4 different names? So what if he's a gamer? So what if he's a... So what?
What's he trying to...
Well done, Dino! I need to clip that and put that as my intro.
Come on, do you know what I mean?
I love him, man.
Just get on with your own life, stick your own nose in your own business, take a long, hard look in the mirror and concentrate on yourself. Not
you
what
drama shit, go elsewhere, right? Just go, if you want drama, either go to Granada Studios or BBC and say, excuse me, please, can I be an extra? Do you remember that one, Buzz? Can I be an extra? Then you can have your little drama in a non-realistic way. You can say, you know, why do you think this and why? Do you know what people are thinking? Go away. 7 names is a lot of names. How many names have you got, Uncle Ron?
In fact,
dude.
People hypocrites, right? They're calling us for having how many names? How many accounts have these people got?
Leave them in.
Exactly.
Leave them in for a minute.
How many accounts have these people got? You block them and then they're back with another one. If you're calling us, take a look at yourself, you bloody hypocrites.
Uncle Ron, watch this, ready? Watch this. I tell you what, I'm going to give a permission to everybody right now, right? This is a permission. You show me one clip of me asking for money and I'll shut my channel down. Go on. Why don't you go and do that? Why don't you show me, honestly,
It's
show
a
me one clip
choice.
of me asking,
Just like
you
you're
show me one
choosing
clip,
to be
all these
here.
haters say is keep begging for money, keep asking for money. Show me one clip, I'll shut my shit down right now. Clip it, listen, show me one clip of me asking for any money or any donations, I'll shut it down right now, go.
And do you know what? The minute usually buzz when you do that in your life, people just start donating to piss them off, don't they?
No, but do you see what I mean?
And
Just show me.
You're not asking that. You're not asking for that. People are choosing to do
Right,
it.
last night, Uncle Ron, right? If you're saying last night, explain what you mean by that. Asking everyone to join members. Listen, when you've got a YouTube channel, you get that option. You don't have to do it, but
do you know how much money I make on them members? 60p, mate. 60 fucking p.
Do you not get it? You get nothing.
Why don't you give it a try yourself instead of
asking for a camper van? Who asked for a camper van?
Who
Who asked for a camper van? Who asked for a camper van? Did I say it in that video? Did I say give me your money? Did I?
No, you didn't.
I didn't. I put the camper van. I'm thinking of buying it. I'm buying it. I'm not asking for anyone to pay for anything. I'll be buying it. Uncle Ron.
They're just
we'll crack on, Uncle Ron. That's the best thing.
Exactly. Yeah. There we go. Crack on. You've just been exposed. You're so shit. These haters are crap.
Yeah, they're just pointless.
They're just crap.
Pointless comments. Time after time again.
It's embarrassing, really. It's embarrassing.
You said you was right, Uncle Ron. I'm telling you now, mate. That's your last one. If you can't put,
not be nice or
send this together. Fucking
that's your last negative comment you're putting in, or else you're gone, mate.
Anyway.
By the way, Biker's here, guys. He's been here since 20 past 8.
Yeah, and I've said 2 fucking words.
I forgot you were there, actually. Hi, Becca.
Yeah, edgeways words, that type of thing. All I wanted to say is, I like watching the female tennis. There you go.
I bet you do.
How can you like female
and you know
tennis?
what? You know what it is, Plod? Not Plod. Sorry, Dino. Eddie, I respect that. How about that? I respect you liking tennis.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
No, you've got me wrong. I like watching the female.
Female. Okay, I respect that.
Right.
I'm not going to hate on you for doing it. I'm not going to call you bad names. I'm not going to make fake fucking profiles of you, Eddie. I promise
you. You're not allowed to like ride on. Jesus.
I always wanted to be a ball boy so I could stand at back of those lady tennis players. I'm just saying,
just saying.
Change is good as the rest and everything else. Like
That's a good job, Ed. I didn't think of that, bro.
See how Eddie does it? He's so good at just defusing. Even though that was nothing, that was like to us. You know what I mean? Auditor for auditor, go away. You're not coming on. Go away.
Let him on for 2 minutes. Let him on.
No. I'll be honest with you. It'll just become. You can talk to him.
It's not. He can go on someone else's live, but
no one will have him. No one will have him. No one will have him on.
Listen,
why should I? I'm not going to embarrass myself, am I? He's been on before, and
if you let him on, mate, he sounds like me, don't he? If you remember that, he sounds like me.
He could be you then.
He ain't fucking me at all.
He's gone now.
Is it you, Eddie? Ooh.
It's not me.
Someone will be doing a video tonight now, Eddie. That'll be it. Eddie, leaked information. Eddie Bikereddie is fraud it or road. That's the tagline. We got it.
No, we were both on live at the same time, mate. So it can't be done.
Yeah, but these haters, dude, you'll have 2 computers. You'll be having one tapped into MI6 and you've got another one. Trust me, it happens. I know what they're like. It happens.
Pre-recorded.
Yes, there's another one. They say Julia's not real. Julia's a pretend. Julia's somebody else, and I've never met Julia live free as, but yeah, she's wanting something to do with me. Honestly, the money's mine. It's not really hers. She's just doing it to encourage others to donate. She does it on live freeze as well, using my money. Honestly, Eddie, you couldn't write this shit. And then someone said,
they could write it.
Oh, check this. This is the latest. Me and Julia are CIA. Check this, right? No jit. Me and Julia, CIA, to try and break up the auditing community. No, honestly, this is what we are. People have done videos on this. Really? You couldn't write it. CIA fucking air. Honestly, guys.
You gotta love it.
You couldn't
They
write
get
it.
something in their head, and there's no telling them any other way. They pick something up. They either pick it up off another troll, off another live stream, or they read something and they run with it, and then there's just no telling them any.
Because I'm not showing my
there's-
face, I must be
nothing.
up to something. I
But
must be
your
up to
face
something.
is there. You've admitted it yourself. Your face is there. You're not hiding out. Your
No.
face is on the internet.
Try and
It's
guess
not
what?
hard to find.
I've just done a podcast with Sean Atwood. Yeah. And my face is all in it. So get your cameras out, haters, because you're about to see Buzz Text,
I'm
baby.
sub to him,
Come
Buzz.
on.
I've been sub to him for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I knew about him before YouTube with his.
I've heard
his
about it.
dealings in.
I've never hardly watched it.
He was quite massive for a small amount of time, weren't he, Buzz?
Yeah,
like he hit the headlines, and he's explained it all on his channel as
it
well.
still Is it still
No,
up
so
there?
the podcast, I've done the live stream. It gets like premiered and stuff. Gets caught up and all that. But
on his.
it's on his. It's going on his. This,
Oh,
yeah.
right, okay.
So
Yeah.
it's got nearly 700,000 subscribers, which is massive.
Wow.
So yeah, it's big, and I hope I've done the auditing community proud, because it was about really what is auditing, what it's about, and I even said, look, I don't know if I'm the man for the job, because I've only been in the game 4 months. I've not really experienced like the rest, you know.
Well,
But,
it's not about experience, is it? It's about common sense. And at the end of the day, like I said to you last night, we're all doing this how we feel best way to handle it is. You know what I mean? I don't think, you know what I mean? We've said, all right, probably going in with the aggression isn't the best way, but everybody deals with it how they deal with it in that situation. Yeah.
There's no script.
There's no script. You can't predict it. You don't know the outcome.
You don't know what mood you're going to be in that morning. Like the night before, you could say, right, I'll do it this way. Forget it. Do you know what I mean? It's
You
on,
don't know
on
what
the
you're
day,
gonna
and even more concentrated. It's in that moment as well. Go on, Mans, ask away. Ask any question you want, Mans. Mans, she likes asking questions, and she's an Arsenal fan, but don't hold that against her.
So what did
I'm a Spurs fan. Oh, Mans, what are you doing?
Oh, Mans. Arsenal any day of the week.
Spurs,
Over Spurs, yeah. No football talk on Plodology, by the way, guys.
I just want to say this last thing about football. Kane staying at Spurs. Come on. All right, anyway, come on.
Before Man asks a question away, what did everyone think of Civil Disobedience live stream then?
Oh.
I mean, I'll start off by saying I actually quite like the guy. You know what I mean? Like we've said, I've not got an issue with people who is against auditing. I really don't. They just need to broaden, stop putting us all in the same box. You know what I mean? That we're all doing it for the same reason. We're all doing it because we want to get a reaction. We're not. It's not about that. So they just need to open their eyes a little bit more. But it's not about whether they're against it or not. It's just they need to stop labelling us all the same. And
well, I thought a couple, and I spoke to you about this, Kat, about that recently, and I watched that live for. I think I started watching it about 5 minutes before Live Free went off. Who made brilliant points, as you'd expect from Live Free.
Yeah.
He's a veteran. And then you came on, Buzz, and then Fluke. Was you on before Fluke or after? I can't remember.
I was on before.
And I noticed the change in civil disobedience's attitude, if you like. Because you were coming across with good points, maybe things he hasn't thought, I didn't think about it that way. And that's why keep talking about it is good.
Agreed. And that's why this opportunity. Sorry, Eddie. Sorry, mate.
He didn't start that live stream with the intentions that he set out to do. With all the auditors that went on there, they put their point across, and it altered his opinion. That's how I saw it.
And you're right. I agree. I absolutely agree, because I was everyone was like, "Oh, trust me, he'll rip me a good one. He'll rip me this. He'll rip me that." I think it was an anticlimax for the hate, to be honest, because they was expecting him to go in on us. But then I think when we calmed the situation and explained what audit is about, he kind of, hang on a minute, have I got this wrong? You know what I mean? So
it all started because it was something to do with Joe Public. He mentioned,
I think he's been getting hit up with Joe as well. So
it all started off. He wanted Joe Public on. And that's what it all started out as, but he changed the title of his live afterwards.
Right.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, initially he was to get Joe Public on for some reason, but he changed it for auditors, and everybody went on then. And I think you guys probably changed his opinion or educated him a bit more than he actually knew or whatever.
You know what? I think what I would like to do is Civil's around. You guys should ask him that question. Bring him in, and I'll leave and whatever. And just ask that question to him and say, "Look, what do you now think of it?" That'd be a nice follow up.
I personally still think he probably thinks the same. People like that.
we don't know.
What I mean is, I think like we said, we've broadened his horizon. We've broadened,
one sec, man.
There's no turning. I don't think he's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm all for auditing now, sort of thing. But he's done it himself. You know what I mean? It
was a brilliant. I don't know how long that live went on for, but when Fluke had finished, I turned off and I thought Fluke and Buzz were superb. Eddie will agree, though. He just said altered the images, altered the perception of it, and that's why talking rather than making quick decisions, quick judgments, and things like that. He did invite people on to talk, and you all did superbly as well. But then you could see him thinking about it more in depth rather than.
I'd like to.
It's set in stone. That's it. Nothing's going to sway me either way.
I'd like to touch something a bit controversial. A little bit controversial is, and this may this is just chucking it out there. Could it have been a clickbait thing to get people? Like a clickbait.
I think he did. I think if you watched his couple of videos beforehand, it kind of did feel like, I'm going to bring a few auditors on here, whether they were being serious or messing about. It said something along the lines, I'm going to bring some auditors on here just to butt my channel up a little bit, or you know what I mean? So there was something.
You don't know. You don't know. Let's just take it as it. I thought he was serious, but a bit. No disrespect to the guy, a bit lacking in depth about it.
No, but with
some people, it's set in stone. That's it. You'll not change my mind and all that. He was very open. I thought.
I thought that. Can I just put into context regarding the clickbait so people don't get taken out of context? What I don't mean clickbait to get him subscribers. What I mean is clickbait is like he's made us believe that he's going to go at us all and he's going to give us a lot of abuse when the reality is he didn't. That's what I mean by clickbait.
I didn't get that.
It was a great live. For 4.5 hours, what I saw. It was superb. Listen, guys, I'm sorry because it's only a short one tonight.
I'm going to dip them. Thank you. Listen, you were legends. Thank you. Do you want to,
Buzz, do you want to hang around just for 1 minute? Because Mans, a few minutes ago, I said, can I ask people a question? And she's put that question up now.
Of course I can. Yeah, of course I will, mate. Yeah,
I've seen something on that today about the animals. I think it's absolutely disgusting. Obviously, as you all know, being a dog lover myself, it's not killing dogs. It's disgusting, isn't it? It's awful. What a terrible thing to do. How dare they?
It's a good question, Mans. That's very, very sad. Yeah.
I feel exactly the same, Mans.
I'm just
I'm just reading
the report on that now.
Okay, so I don't know much about this, to be honest. I'm new to that.
No, I'm just first I've heard of it as well.
I've had a few new Australian live streams jump up on my thing, and they've been talking about it. Like this news clip here. I don't know if it's mainstream or it's to take the P out of mainstream, but. Talking about there was a guy apparently who knew he was COVID positive, and he's gone on the run. He's gone out without a mask on, and the police are looking for him and trying to track him down. And
I've just read the headline here now.
All right, is it?
It says a council in Australia killed the impounded animals to prevent volunteers at an animal shelter from travelling to pick them up and potentially spreading the virus.
Yeah, Sky News.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not.
Been on Sky, has it, Mans? I'll try and catch up with that story. It's just anything to do with animals. As you know, I'm a vegan, and someone's just put up the eat dogs in some. We know it's common knowledge that. Yeah. Why bring that up, Darren? Do you know what I mean? It's not right. But then a dog, to me, in a vegan's eyes, is no different to a cow or a pig.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right, I've just.
You're still trying to get on. You went off. You came back as Inspector 37887 or something like that. You're trying to take the piss, go away. Buzz, honestly, mate, thanks so much, mate, for coming on and having a chat.
We need
No,
another
I just
24-hour live stream.
We do. Let's get this bus. Let's get on the road and let's get 17 of us. But honestly, thank you, Eddie. Thank you, everyone. Honestly, I appreciate it. And
cheers, boss.
have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Nice one, mate. Stay in touch.
Yeah. All right.
See you later. Yeah. Bus text, guys. His channel link's been up there anyway, but probably most of you have subbed by now. So you take Buzz as you take him. You know what I mean? I've met him. Cat's met him. He's all right, guys. You can think what you want about him.
He's good with people. I don't see what there's not to like about him.
Listen, Auditor Frog, that's the first time I've seen you swear, mate, and I don't often look at the private chat. He's not what you just said he is at all. If he is,
you're going to be banned. You are going to be banned. I know you keep saying you're not, but you're going to be banned.
Yeah, right. Auditor, listen, mate. If he is what you just said he is, send me the proof.
Prove it. Well, I
Simple as
told you
that.
this in the comment the other day. You're
a drama queen. Go away.
Where have you got your info from?
Biker's just put a link up, I think, as well. Leah, again, just keep your eye on what Leah does, guys, because she's brilliant, for one. Well, she's more than that.
I put that link up about the dogs in Australia, that comment that I mentioned.
Yeah, it's not
Spiky. Where'd you get them from, Blue? Let Spiky let me know, mate. Fruit pastels. Pink Rose still not left, not right in the middle. One of Buzz fan. Mans, any question you want to ask, you bring a question up, and don't feel afraid to ask a question, Mans, as well. Mans B is a great person. Let me just. You should be a mod, man. Yeah, I'm just checking you were modded up.
When I did my Sunday live, you came in, didn't you? How long did you stay in for?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
When was this live? Which one?
On Sunday when I went. It was just before Civils.
Oh God, I don't know.
You came in, didn't you? It was you, weren't it? Weren't a
Yeah.
No, I was just wondering if you stayed, because right at the end, I ended up coming across a massive, car show that I've never seen before. And there were bikes there and everything. So I thought, I wonder if Eddie would have liked this. And it was meant. It was 20,000 cars.
I think I stayed on your live. I watched a bit of it, but obviously it's Sunday and I've got family around and what have you. I just left it playing, love. Is it still on? I'll have a look at it.
Yeah, it's still on. Just flick to the end. Obviously connections, it goes a bit fuzzy towards there, but we're right to end. 20,000 cars, and there weren't as many bikes there, but it was just. And honest to God, smart ass looking cars, not gonna lie, really, really, really nice looking cars. But swear to God, there was a section of it, but when they backfire, my God, me and Ozzy, swear to God, it's like someone shoved a firework up a bloody car's ass and it shot it out. It was that hot. And I'm like, what? Why do they have to be like that? Why do you have to make them noisy like that? It's like with fireworks. I enjoy watching fireworks from a distance, but to be near them and hear them go banging off every 5 seconds is not nice. And it's same with these cars. I don't get the fascination in these big, massive, noisy engines. I don't.
Why not?
I could explain, Kat, but it would get boring for you, love.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a guy there, who saw what happened, and I said, "Do you like it?" He goes, "I love it." And I went, "Well, why? What is the fascination?" And he went, "I just love it." So like that, he couldn't give me an explanation. I just love it, which is with anything. Fair enough. That's your thing. That's your thing. I just don't understand why they have to be so noisy and. It's just the noise just grates on me and gets to me. It's horrible.
my last bike, when I went past parked cars, it used to set their alarms off.
Yeah, it's just please have the fanciest bike you want, but please put some noise, quiet engine.
It's bloody horrible. There can't be any pleasure in that.
Yeah,
it's just showing off, innit?
It is just showing off. Come on, let's face it. It's money and showing off. Look at me in my nice fancy car. Brum, brum.
Well,
Bang.
I'm not materialistic at all whatsoever. So I believe Julia right? I've missed it if you have been, but I've seen your name come up a few times. If you have been in the chat, Julia, earlier on, good evening. Okay.
I'm going to ask this question.
Everything's
right. I keep hearing the name Julia, right? But I don't see her in chat. But I keep hearing the name mentioned.
Yeah, I've not seen. Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know what's happening if that's the case, but I've nothing. Julia, listen, I will talk to you. Okay.
If that's her real name and she comes in on somebody else.
No, it's fine. I've had let me just say I've had someone's got in touch with me. So what I'm saying is, if you're listening, Julia, I will speak to you later on at some point. Okay. And then we talk. Anyone else new who's joined? Green Tub, I've seen you before. Good evening, anyone. The chat's brilliant. Is BuzzTex on here X3? You've just missed him. Just less than 5 minutes ago, mate. But I'm going to ask him to come on Friday night if you want to check it out then. I'm sure he will. He better do. Cheryl H. Yeah, thanks, Cheryl. Pink Rose is in there, guys. Gypsy.
What name does Julia come on as? Do you know?
This is what I mean. It's going back quite a few minutes now, but so I would have to.
She's got that logo. Is it like the fist with the tattoos on the fit? Yeah, that one. One of them on my community post the other day. One of them trolls I had that same logo but with a different name, obviously. So.
Right. The thing is, what I've just said is I've actually had a private message, so I do know.
No, I'm just interested that's all.
No, I don't know if she has, but she's been mentioned, and I've had a private message, so I can only take it from that, and then I'll speak to people later. But if you're in there, Julia, good evening. How you doing? Don't worry about anything. What's in the past is in the past, right? I just want to crack on with things. There's certain people I will never entertain again, but there's certain people I will. And that's it. Sorry, it sounds a bit cryptic, but a lot of us know. Yeah, there's no one else backstage. Auditor for Auditor's finally gone away, I think. Now I've said that, you'll probably pop backstage again, but you won't get on.
Have a look in private chat, mate.
Oh, let's have a quick look. This is
on the verge of being banned, and he wants that. Yeah, right. He has to do a hell of a lot better than that.
Honestly, mate, it's
got to admire his balls.
I can't see anything. I can't say anything about him being rude or anything like that. It's just a pain in the ass. I don't know you. You never show your face. Everything you say is crap.
Listen,
you never make a point.
If you really want to, message me. Show me who you are on all the social platforms.
You'll be saying that this time next year. That's my point.
And this whole, you're predicting these auditors are going to get the channel shut down. This person's going to be arrested. You've been saying that for about 2 years, as I said. These people, this person's going to get the channel shut down. You've been saying it for about 2 years now. And yet,
just to wind up. So why would anybody in the right mind want to entertain you? That's all. I'm just being straight, mate. You've been on before. I've let you on a few times. You don't contribute anything. And everywhere you go, like Buzz says, you're not wanted, right? You definitely not. You keep trying. It's been 2 months nearly now you've been trying to get on my lives, and I keep saying you've no chance and you won't get on. So go away.
Why don't you do your own channel? If you're so adamant, find facts.
Because drama queens don't do that.
Yeah.
They don't do that. They either have a channel with no content and no subs, a very few, or they have a channel and don't do content and like drama.
Yeah.
Crinkle is Dejected Tomato. Love you back, mate. Ever since that 24-hour live, Cat, Buzz, and myself and someone else. You were there that night. First time I've come up. Thank you so much. Dejected Tomato. I don't know if Crinkles. He's not backstage normally. He goes
Where's
backstage
that
looking
name come from? Can I ask Dejected Tomato? I'm so curious. Where does your name come from, Dejected Tomato?
I like it. It's a good name, that is.
Yeah.
I've got someone else backstage. Listen, I said 10 o'clock, right? Now, I know I might get in trouble if it goes on a bit longer than that.
Which 10
But
o'clock?
it's my bloody channel. It's
Yeah,
my
I'm gonna
channel.
tell her. Who are you gonna get in trouble off?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
What?
Excuse me. It's
Excuse
whose
me?
channel? Yes, it's whose channel?
Ours.
Mine.
That's yours.
Excuse me. Who am I
It's
standing
being
in for?
streamed. Excuse me.
Excuse me. Who am I standing in for?
Yeah, but excuse me, right? It's being streamed. You are the standing co-host.
No, excuse me.
It's been like next week.
Channel yet?
But see, this is why it takes longer. You see. So when Plod's back next week, it'll be on his channel.
Right. Yeah.
But because it's on my channel this week.
Yeah.
It's up to me how long it goes on for. And the reason I've just brought that up is because there's certain people who can talk forever. And there's no point ending it early sometimes. Speak of the frigging devil about people who can talk forever, worse than me, is this guy.
Oh,
That's shut you up, hasn't it? And this gives me a chance to have a quick break from my own voice. You two pains in the asses. Guys in the chat, massive respect for Fluke, guys. Good evening, mate. How are you doing?
Mate, it hasn't shut me up. I couldn't get a fucking word in edgeways here, you twat.
I'm going.
I'm your co-host, mate.
Fluke, take it away.
You go for a piss, you twat bag.
Eddie, when are you going to set your own lives up, eh? Come on, you know you want to.
I tried doing one a few weeks back, just as a test, see if I could do it. It kind of worked, but no fucker came on, so I didn't bother.
Well, you've got to give it a chance. Give it a chance.
Yeah, but I didn't advertise. Yeah, I didn't advertise it at all like that. So I mean, I'm not really interested in doing it, to be honest. But
you just like coming in and winding up everyone up on their own.
I don't wind anybody up. Never done that.
I won't be sushi.
No.
How you doing, Kat? How you doing, Eddie?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Yourself?
Yep, same shit, different day.
Yeah,
did you just catch what we were talking about Civils Live? Did you...
Yeah, I was sorry. I got a couple of phone calls and I was kind of in and out of the chat, so I kind of missed a few bits. But I did obviously appeared on Civils.
What
video.
do you think? Do you think we've kind of maybe broadened his horizons a little bit, or is he still on the fence? Or
I think the problem with Civil, and much as I like him, and I've been on loads of his live streams, and we've always had great conversations. You know what I mean? And he's really open and accepted, especially when it comes to the whole narrative of what's going on at the moment. But he's really, really not appreciative of the auditing community, and which is fine. You don't have to believe in what we do.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I missed that I should have said on the live was the fact that what we're trying to do is bring this to people, and it needs to go public in the sense that the police are doing stuff that goes against their own regulations. It goes against the law, right? It goes against their own guidelines. And when they fuck up and arrest people for taking pictures in a public place, people then sue the police, which comes out of the public purse. And that should infuriate the public, and that's what I should have said, and I neglected to say it. So
it shouldn't come out of the public, though. It should be bloody coming out of their wage, shouldn't it? That should be the next step, hopefully.
Yeah. But this is the thing, when you've got a government situation where the police are basically the government's law enforcement arm, they're the force enforcement of government, and when the government cock up, which they do on a regular basis, and the police go out and they cock up, then it's the public that pays for it, and I should have mentioned that, and I failed to do so. So maybe that would have been something that sort of not changed people's minds, but just made them think about kind of what that whole scenario is. Because
have you seen Black Belt Barrister's latest post regarding auditors, whether it's legal or not and everything else? He mentions toward the end that there's going to be because there's this did he say it's an act or something like that? It's due for review in 2021, which means it's overdue, and that is due to be reviewed in a few months' time regarding auditing. Now, if you go back and have a look at it, I mean, I can't remember his words, but if you go back and have a look at that one regarding the auditors, he seems to know that there's something coming up in the future.
Yeah, I bet he does. He knows what the government's going to do in regards to legislation around photography in a public place before anybody else does. It smells like bullshit to me.
I'm just saying what I saw, Matt. That's all.
No, I'm just saying it's kind of just nonsense. This is the thing. This is the thing. I think it's one of those. Sorry, Dean. I might just chop off for a minute because I've got to change Wi-Fi connection quickly.
No worries, mate.
Just in case I disappear for a second.
No worries, mate. You just pop backstage whenever. Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Right. On that note, I'm off for a quick piss.
No worries, mate.
Yeah,
I've actually got a word in then, so I think I'm let off the hook.
I just think this is just me, but I just don't see how they can stop it. They can try, but I just really don't see how they can stop it. They might put up a bit of a perimeter, saying you can only come so far, maybe near the state, but then people will push that. You know what'll happen. But I don't see how it can be stopped. I really don't. Why can't they just go around and see, just go out and have either ignore them or go out and have a civil conversation. That's it. Why can't they just have a meeting and say, look, either go out and have a civil conversation with them or ignore them? It doesn't have to be as complicated as it's being made into. It just makes no sense.
Mandy, you can say piss on here.
Piss.
Mandy, you can say piss on here, all right? Auditing all, great guy. Please sub to his channel. I've heard a bit about him. Fluke's come. Ben's here as well, guys. So I'll bring Fluke back on, and Ben's here as well.
Can you hear me now, lads?
Can hear you now, Ben. How's your Wi-Fi now? Is that better?
Up and down. I'm in the Isle of Wight.
So, have you been keeping since when did I speak to you last Friday? You seem to be really happy and
absolutely amazing. I'm on holiday. Ended up in a car of handcuffs under Section 43 today when I done an audit.
Excellent. You've got that on film, yeah? You've kept all that?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Coming out on Sunday when I get home on Saturday to upload it via my laptop.
Superb, mate. Look forward to that.
I done the Isle of Wight prison.
Wow. Could that have been a first? Has anyone else been to the Isle of Wight and done that? Anybody? Let us know. Could Ben have been the first?
Yeah, Marty Blabber did it.
Has Marty done it? Well, no shock though. But not many have, Ben, so good on you, mate. Well done. Yeah, there you go, Leah. A massive community supporter and a great guy to talk to as well is Ben. Rice and Peas, good evening, Dave. How you doing? Debbie Bat, what's Ben's channel? The link's just gone up there, Debbie, just above you from Leah.
Eddie, the O Tower is lovely.
What it?
3-course evening meal, Eddie.
Excellent, mate. What do you get? Steak, chips, full works?
Full works.
Yeah, excellent, mate. Just get it milked while you can. Get it.
But put it like this, I've already booked another 3 holidays for this year.
All right, nice one. Where you going next time?
Eastbourne.
Never been, mate.
I've never been. No.
Where's your other holiday?
And then I'm going to Ilfracombe, Devon.
Never been. Where's the other one?
Western Supermare.
Oh, why didn't you say Leeds? Come to Leeds, mate.
I couldn't get where I wanted to go.
It's only like 65, 70 mile away from sea. It's not too far.
I wanted Blackpool where Willie wanted.
No, mate. Wherever you're happy going, mate, you go there, fella. Without a doubt.
I'm only going for the food, really, Eddie.
Well, you.
Do you know what, mate? You sound really happy. You sound really happy.
You want to know something funny now? But I hope I don't offend anyone. Guess how many old brannies and brumpies there is on the coach with me?
I bet they're all wearing masks as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mask survivors. They fucking love them, don't they?
51 of them.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you know what? Mansby, South and Southwest, that's to disagree with. The furthest I've been is south of Devon on the Cornwall border. Never been to Cornwall, but heard so much about it, seen all these pictures, and it just looks like a completely different country out of England.
I do
Fantastic.
But I recommend I recommend going on one of these coach holidays to anyone if you can put up with the old people.
I went to Isle of Man a couple of years back. No, I haven't been to Isle of Wight, but I've been to Isle of Man.
Isle of Man is excellent, Kat. Did you go at the right time, though?
No. Check back. You can go check back to my channel. Check back to my channel and watch my video. It honestly, it was amazing.
If you didn't go at the right time, you missed a lot of action there, girl.
Yeah,
a lot of action.
It was out. I think it was definitely out of season time. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Bodmin Monster, yeah, I've heard of that. That's an old tale, a bit like the Loch Ness one and things like. Daddy Orca, mate, how you doing? Superb supporter. Thanks, Daddy. Brilliant. Debbie, you're on the Isle of Wight, right?
Is it the
Never
Isle?
been, but...
Actually, do you know what? I'm sort of debating now myself. Was it the Isle of Wight or Isle of Man I've been to? I'm getting both mixed up.
Right.
I know I've been to one of them, but I can't remember which one it was. With Ride and the Needle. And...
Isle of Man's, okay. See, even Mansby who lives there got it mixed up, Kat.
See, it's easily done.
Man of the North, that's the way I think of it. Isle of the Man is in the north, Man of the North, and then South Wight. But yeah.
Yeah, I went to Isle.
They've still got their own currency, haven't they? Isle of Man. Is it still their own currency and own government, the Manx?
They've got their own government, mate, but I don't think they've got their own currency. Last time I went there, it was still pound notes. So,
right. I just thought it was a slight deviation from sterling, but
that's the same Isle of Man that took. That's the same Isle of Man that took Facebook's or Mark Zuckerberg's £168 billion. And said that they would look after it for him, gave him the lowest interest rate on the world. That island. I'm sure they're not slightly corrupt.
Dino, I'm coming to Blackpool.
Say again, Ben?
I've already booked Blackpool for next May.
Blackpool, right? That's not far from me. So it's up to you, mate. If you fancy a frappe.
Yeah, it won't be till next May though.
No worries, mate. No rush, but it'd be good to see you.
Yeah, Kat not far from there either, I believe.
Yeah, I was in Blackpool today.
No, she ain't coming, mate.
No, I'll just leave you to it then.
I'm only joking. Gosh, you won't be able to stop her anyway, God's sake.
You've had enough of me. That's why you keep buggering off down London, because you've had enough of me.
Don't worry.
No, that's not true. But I've been to Bath Mans, an amazing small city, Bath is. Been to a few gigs there. seeing all that architecture and that, and yeah, beautiful. So many nice places in this country. It's a pretty pity it's spoiled by the ridiculous system that we live in. But we can talk about all that on Friday. I'm sure Fluke, you'll be on Friday, mate, won't you?
Yeah, I'll pop on. I'm doing
yeah.
If you don't mind me plugging something, Mike Bastion Radio is going to be doing a live, hopefully tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, and we're going to be talking about specifically policing in general, and obviously including auditing, but policing in general in the UK, and that should be an interesting little topic because we've done a lot of research into that, and there's some interesting little connections that
sounds
join
interesting.
The proverbial dots, as it were. So I'd like to say thank you again to where is she? She's disappeared. Moderator,
yeah.
Leah. Sorry, yeah, Leah. Thank you again for putting up our links to our live streams as well. So I appreciate that. Yeah, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, we'll be doing that, and we'll be talking about policing in general, but also we'll be talking about policing when it comes to auditing and stuff like that as well. And the way the police kind of start, getting their panties in a bunch over, people posting on Twitter or Facebook, and it's like, hang on a minute, there's people out there committing murders. Do you know what I mean? There's people out there committing robberies and drug dealing, and you're pissing about on fucking Facebook, for fuck's sake,
Yeah.
It does my fucking noodling. And then they bitch and moan that they've got no money and they don't have enough funds and they can't recruit enough police officers. Yeah, because
that reminds me of when Kat and myself went to Blackpool a few weeks ago, not for any auditing, not for anything like that, came across these cops, and it was all about graffiti. Just something very minor. Yeah. And then she came across and said, "We are dealing." If you listen back, she says, words to this effect: "We're dealing with a serious situation here. So why are you butting in?" And I'm thinking, 3 coppers, a bit of graffiti. He's already in the back of the van. He's already been arrested. All they have to do is shut the outer doors and be off. And Kat went, "Who's the victim here?" And it sparked that WPC off, like, I'm taking charge now, I'm a WP. Like they do, I find, most of the time, WPCs, they tend to have the more power freakiness about them.
They could have got a wet sponge and asked the bloke to clean it off the van, giving him a warning. And that would have been it. No, we've got 4 police officers and 2 cars, and they've got to cart him off to jail, put him in the fucking cell for fucking 10 hours, piss ass around, fill in loads of paperwork at the expense of the taxpayer, only to let him go the next day. And what's he going to do? The worst case scenario is going to get a £50
near enough
fine.
what we said on that video, Fluke, because as they drove off and we walked away, and I said to Kat, there could be some guy around the corner, like you just said, real crime, in one of these seaside coastal hut things, what you can relax in. There could be someone in there committing a real crime, and you're saying this is a serious thing we have to deal with, and you're interrupting graffiti. Okay, on a cop van, which they don't pay for, the public do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like.
So, and then they even argued
against that side of someone's car, then fair enough. That's criminal. But the thing is, this is the whole point. They become so. I don't know, supercilious is probably not the right word, but they become so sort of stupid about what they do. It's just like you just got this is a crime and that's a crime, and you said this on Facebook, and I watched a video the other day of a guy where a police officer turned up at his house because of a Facebook post. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing? You're turning up at people's houses to argue the toss with them over a Facebook post. I mean, for God's sake.
Do you know what, as well, in those situations, I can always tell, like, there were one copper, right, Kat, the guy who were chatting, the one who were all right, he had his hands in his pockets, it was so relaxed, and then you got the other one on the other scale, the woman saying, "Oh, this is serious, what are you doing interrupting, blah, blah, blah." And then the other guy who stayed silent, if you notice on that video, when Kat was giving this copper a piece of her mind, and rightly so, So he kept looking at us, and then he slammed the door out of anger like that. And he's the one who never said a word, but he showed his anger with slamming his own van's door. Do you know what I mean? So I'll have to take that as that's must be a compliment to Cat, you Reds. Right? And it's a horrible thing to say to me. I'm only joking. Mark, how you doing, Matt?
He's
Dino.
buffering.
Where did you get to yesterday, Dino?
Can I... Sorry, go on.
Go on, Ben.
Where did you get to last night, Dino?
Where did I get to?
Yeah.
Last night?
Yeah.
What was he doing last night? What were you up to last night, you sneaky devil?
Coming on last night for my birthday.
Oh, yeah. Dino, you twat. You said last Friday you're going to do a live for his birthday. Oh, mate, how bad do you feel right now? You feel
Everybody
bad.
make Dino feel guilty.
If Dino's guilty, press one.
Naughty Dino.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You forgot, mate, didn't you?
Tut, Dino, tut.
Oh, mate. Oh, how bad do you feel now?
Go on, Ben, give him what for. Go on. Let rip and give him what for.
Don't worry, Dino. I ended up putting it with a load of old people. I loved it the evening anyway.
But you
did I not ask you to remind me?
No, you did not make a note.
Don't try and get out.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he even said he wrote it down on his notepad, didn't he? I remember that. He wrote it down on his notepad.
Ben, when you meet up with him in Blackpool, he'll buy you the biggest birthday present going, won't you?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I've never felt this shit in ages.
No problem, Dino. Don't worry, mate. We know how busy you are.
Nice one, Ben. Gives us some fucking ammunition, does this? Oh, Dino, mate. You twat. What are you like?
You horrible YouTuber, you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, I said 10 o'clock, so I'll end it now. Bye. No, I'm only joking. Ben, I'm so sorry, mate. Honestly, I get 3 hours sleep a night. In fact, this morning I ended up going to sleep about 5 a.m. because somebody phoned me up and I was on the phone for about 4.5 hours. So sorry about that. Just blame that person. I'll not name who that person is.
Well, what fucking
What
me,
are you
mate?
laughing at?
No, I can imagine.
Yeah. Someone who talks a lot. It was. But I won't mention. No, I don't talk to Fluke in private. We message, but we don't talk because we know we'll never sleep. But at least with you, I can get a couple of hours, Cat. Right. I can't make any excuse whatsoever, Ben. That is a massive apology, but I'll make it up to you.
You can't. There's no excuses, mate.
I can't believe my co-host is causing drama on this live.
Mate, I'm just saying it how it is. You fucked up, mate. That's it.
All right. I know. That's another night without frigging sleep. Right. Oh, God. I don't know what to say now.
We won't bring it up again, mate. Don't worry. We won't remind you of it ever again.
I won't be on Friday night, Dino, so I'll send you my apologies now.
No, you don't have to, mate. Don't apologise.
You've got nothing to apologise for now. Just keep letting him down every Friday. That's just to make up.
I've got to be up at 5 a.m. on Saturday morning and get ready to get out of the hotel.
Yeah.
Well, you found a way to shut me up tonight, so...
Thank fuck for that. That's easy done, that.
Then you go back and take it on.
I'll tell you what, you take over, Biker, come on. You take over.
It's a shame you can't shut me up that easily, isn't it?
Mate, give me a chance. Give me a chance.
Oh, you could have told me in prime. Right, carry on. Anyone who's joined, good evening. Thanks for joining. Plod's going to be back on in a sec as well.
Yeah, good evening.
Dave, I'm not horrid, even though a lot of people think I am, but I'm not. Eamon, yeah, you're right. How dare he? Right.
If it's ever your
Please, Plod, if you join in on this, Plod, right, I've done with you, mate. Right? Yeah, stick up for me, or I'm going to boot you off your own life. Right?
Dino, can I ask
I've got to just drop off for a second, mate. I've got to make
no worries, Nige. Yeah. Whenever you're ready, mate, no worries.
Can I ask you a question, Dino?
It depends.
What were you doing last night that you could not? Now, don't forget, I'm asking you a question. Okay. What was so important that you could not be online and actually say happy birthday to Ben?
What, last night?
Yeah.
That's what it was, mate. You know, Tuesday. That
Tuesday. Yeah, all right, I'm going to mute this for kicking. Can you kick him?
Dino,
I can kick him, right?
Dino, I'm asking you a question.
What was that?
A straightforward question. Okay, and you can't say you were brushing your hair.
No, guys,
I know, because I'm getting less and less of it, but go on.
Where the real drama is.
Okay, so Dino, what are you going to do to Ben or for Ben to make up for it? I reckon on live now you should sing happy birthday.
Yes.
No, he runs out if Dino can do it 24 hours live.
Ben, would you like Dino to sing your happy birthday? Ben, would you like Dino to sing your happy birthday?
He's lost his connection.
Right, Dino, come on, you got to sing it for him.
No, not without Ben's permission. Not without his permission.
Dino.
Yeah,
can't
Ben,
sing
yeah,
yet.
that was Ben. That was Ben saying yes.
Eamon, taxi.
Okay, come on,
Yeah,
Dino.
please.
Come on, Dino.
Oh God, no, you can't do this to me.
Yeah, you can. Come on.
Right, can I go on? Can I stop my cam and do it?
No.
Can I do that, or do I have to be on screen?
No, you got to be on screen.
On screen,
What,
mate.
like that?
Oh, God.
I can't be like that then and do it.
I'll open it out, mate.
Ben wants to be able to see you. You got to show Ben the love.
I'll help it out, mate.
I'm gonna get you for this. You know that, Plod, don't you?
I know you are. I know you are.
Right, Dino, you ready? First 4 words. Happy birthday to you.
Come on, Dino.
Come on, Dino.
Right, I'll tell you what. I'll do it on my own. After listening to that few seconds, forget it, guys. That was awful.
Right, you show us up, mate.
Ben, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to. He's gone.
No, just do it. He'll still be listening. He'll still be listening.
Right, I'll start again then.
Start again.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ben. Happy birthday to you.
Hey!
Oh, yeah, shit.
We asked for you to sing happy birthday.
Well done, Dino. Now, I think that will be a nice return to him. Okay? Now, where you were feeling shit, you should now feel on top of the world because of what you just done.
Yeah, I feel worse because of the way because of what I've just done, the way I sounded.
Yeah, but Dino, you know I'll always put you on the spot as you do to me.
Hey. Right. Yeah.
Mate, I wish I could say I was impressed.
Now, guys, all you have to do is clip that section and then replay it over and over again.
I've already done that, don't you worry.
Guys, whoever can come up with the best happy birthday remix, okay, might get something.
Can I just butt in because it's only fair to do so. Mickey Mouse 123, thanks so much. Thanks for coming in for one, but thanks for your donation. It means a lot, mate. Thank you
that
very much.
was the 10 quid for the ticket price for the concert.
I was going to say that's 10 quid to go towards Ben's birthday present.
Yeah.
You know what? Do you know what?
That's a good idea.
Do you know what? That is spot on. Yeah, there you go, Mickey. That's where it's going, mate. That is going towards something for Ben. Thank you. So that's for thanks so much. But Cat, nice one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Don't waste it on your singing lessons, mate.
Have you got it in for me tonight or something?
Dino, I would say that was absolutely fantastic, mate.
Okay, what else do you want? I'm only joking. I'm joking. Right, Trevor, please help me. Come in the chat. Trevor Random, please.
Is Trevor coming on?
I don't know. Leah's just put his link up, but I'm hoping he's in there.
Right,
no,
Dino, I'll speak to you all in a bit.
I'm not going to answer to your phone tonight, mate, so you can forget it.
Dino. Right.
I will see you very soon.
No, I'm going to stay on for another 5 minutes.
I can still kick you, mate. It's my channel.
You can still kick me, but Dino, you're not going to do that, are you?
No, he won't. He won't, mate. Same as he won't kick me.
Now, for you, Eddie, that's a different case.
No.
Okay, you've only got to run out
no drama. Unless it's good drama like this.
Come on, bring it on.
He can't kick me. He just can't. He knows he can't. Don't you, Dino? Don't you? You know you can't kick me.
I can if I want, but I won't.
Yeah, but you can't. And you won't.
I can.
No, you can't.
No drama, guys. I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
My brother's bigger than your brother. Yes. Why don't you two go and get a room and be happy?
Why are you causing drama? You're causing drama right now, Claude. You always cause drama. You're well known for it, mate. You're well known for it. I don't do drama, you know that. So what was you saying before? What's all this about anyway? Why are you having a go at me tonight, you bunch of reprobates? Fluke's back on. Please, Fluke, sort these guys out for me.
I've not had a go at you at all, mate.
No, not really. Just because I didn't let you speak for half an hour. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, bring that. Yeah, sing happy birthday and all that.
Dino, I thought you done fantastic at keeping him quiet for half an hour. You should have gone for at least 45 minutes.
No, I couldn't do that. I'm sorry. Anyway, right. Ben, I'm sorry. Eddie, I'm not sorry to you, Plod, because you keep putting me on the spot. You've had it, mate, this weekend. Oops, what did I say?
What you saying sorry to me for?
Shall I just go?
I'm just you twatting the chat, mate. You don't have to say sorry to me.
Guys, for any one of you who think we're being serious, we're not, okay? I know you're all having a laugh in the chat, but
for God's
sake. I wanted to say something about this auditor frauditor twat, right? Because he's so lame, it's untrue. This guy is the lamest person on the internet today, right? Do you want me to take you through it quickly?
Please do, Luke. Go for it, man.
Auditor frauditor claims that auditors are all ex-criminals. So that makes me, Kat, and Dino a criminal, and every other auditor is a criminal, right?
Hang on, you forgot me there. I'm on here as well.
Yeah, sorry, mate. You're a criminal as well, apparently, as far as auditor.
Hang on, just let me stop you there one sec. You're not allowed to include me in that because auditor likes me and he thinks he knows I'm a vlogger, so he's already told me he don't include me in all that.
Oh well, yeah. Maybe he's just. He's very specific about which.
Just everybody else. Yeah, just everybody else. That's okay.
So, and then we just do it for the views. I put up a video called Auditor UK, which is a defence contractor in the UK, that I went and videotaped and did a story about them. And it got 700 views because they didn't call the police and the security guards left me alone, the staff left me alone, and it was a complete pass, and it only got 700 views, right? Whereas when I went to East Grinstead train station, did a video called Barry Wet His Pants, which was the guy behind the counter, that got 35,000 views because he was a dick. Now, if people come and stand in front of my camera and act like a dick, you're going to get views. I don't want the views. Barry got the views because Barry acted like a dick. I didn't act like a dick because I was the same person that was at Aerotron UK doing the same video in the same manner that I did at the same train that I did at the same train station, right? Then I did a video which was for two guys up north that went to video at a train station, and the police came out and said you can't video because of railway bylaws and railway this and railway, this terrorism act and blah blah blah. You can't film at a train station and blah blah blah. And then I put up on that video, I put up Network Rail's own laws, own policy on public photography, which means all you have to do is tell a member of staff that you're there to take photographs. That's it. And the only thing you need to do is check with the platform, with the ticket office, if you need a platform ticket or not to take pictures on the platforms. That's it, right? You're not allowed to use a flash gun on the platform. And if you're going to set up a tripod, it needs to be out of the way. And the other thing is you can't obviously go into restricted areas that says staff only and stuff like that. Fails to mention any of that, right? So that's views and clicks bullshit, right? Then he goes on about they're just doing it for the money. Really? The last time I got a payout from YouTube was September of last year, so nearly a year ago, right? I got £72. So I'm hardly doing it for the money.
And can I just chip in with that? Can I just chip in with that? By the way, you're adding to that, even if we are just doing it for money, as you claim, you're adding to that by clicking on the videos to support us. So thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks for your support. Appreciate it.
Move on.
Getting in people's faces. This is a classic of people, of detractors, right? I can zoom in and fill a frame, right, of a whole number plate, fill the frame from my camcorder from 230 yards. So why do I need to get in somebody's face? I don't. And I've said to him, and I've said to other detractors saying, you go around sticking your camera in people's faces just to get a reaction. Really? Well, I'll tell you what, I've said this multiple times. I've said this multiple times. Go through my videos, all my auditing videos, and if you can find one single video where I've stuck my camera in somebody's face, let me know and I'll delete all of my auditing videos. And not one person has been able to get back to me to say, oh, here's the video where you're stuck your camera in someone's face.
Yeah, exactly the same thing.
I've got one for you, Fluke. You did actually put your camera. You did put your camera in someone's face.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, your own.
Yeah. Oh, look, just like right now.
There we go. Good man.
When did he ever say, "Oh, that guy got right up in front of your camera"?
Yep.
Which is what they do, and the comical bit of that is, they say, "Why are you filming?" They come in front of your camera and they say, "Don't put that camera in my face."
Yeah.
Whether it's 2 meters, 10 meters away, they still say it.
They walk up to your camera and then say, "Don't put the camera in my face." Well, no, don't put your face in my camera.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah?
Correct.
That's how it works.
Fluke, it comes down to the same thing as well. When they say about, and especially the police, when they go about, "Can you move back?" Hang on a minute. You walked to me. You came to me. We didn't walk to you. You came to me.
Exactly.
It's the same thing as anybody else.
They're focusing our cameras, not the other way around.
Yeah,
exactly.
Correct.
Can I just say another one, Mansby, guys? Sorry, Mansby, good night, and thanks so much for being a great mod and being respectful and loving in the chat. Thanks, man. See you on Friday, I hope. Thank you.
See you later, man.
So quick, thank you.
Ronald, I've seen what you're saying as well, mate. Thanks for that.
There's been a lot of kind comments, so thank you to people in the chat. I neglected to mention that earlier.
Always awesome.
But thank you. Also, there is no PINAC movement. It's bollocks, right? It's bollocks, right? The PINAC movement started in Florida about 7 years ago, run by a guy who started Photography Is Not a Crime. And it started in the States because they took the American government to the United States Supreme Court and won a court decision where the government had to change the DHS memo to say that photographing even on federal property was legal. And here we are 7 years later, and they're still battling the same thing, even though they have the memo that says that photographing on federal property is completely legal on all publicly accessible areas. We still have the same problem here, right? Where photographing in a public place or whatever is being, was abused by Section 44. It is still being abused by Section 43. 10 years after the police's guidance on public photography came out, they're still abusing it. And even now they've updated it, and that's the lamest update I've ever heard in my life, because it's exactly the same as what was issued in 2010. They've just changed the wording to include the words auditors and vloggers. Other than that, it's exactly the same as the guidance they were issued in 2010. And this is the problem. This is the problem that the public needs to know. And this is why I think it's important for these videos to get out, is because the public need to see how their money is being wasted by police going around, fuck-arsing around, paranoid about their safety, about terrorism and all this bullshit, when really, the only people really at threat from terrorism is the general public. Because if you're a terrorist, you're going to go and bomb the nearest shopping centre or the nearest Manchester arena when there's a Mickey Mouse pop concert going on. That's what you're going to bomb. They're going to pick the easiest target, because that's what a coward does. A coward bombs the easiest target they can come across. They're not going to go to a fucking police station with 50 armed officers and go in there with a fucking, a gun or whatever else they want to go in there with, because they know they're going to get taken out in seconds. And it doesn't happen.
You're absolutely spot on, Fluke. If no one gets what Fluke's just said, then you're missing something. Sorry, guys, but there you have it. That's a different perspective, what you've just been given, compared to the one you're given by mainstream. Think about it this way as well. Okay?
And the other thing I wanted to say, which is quite important, is concentrating just on auditing itself, was, if there's no interactions, we get no views, which is fine by me. Doesn't bother me whatsoever. I want that, because I want my rights to be respected. I get no views if I get no interactions. So I'm not going out there to if I was going out there to deliberately cause an interaction, right, then I could understand that method of thinking, that I'm just going out there to cause an interaction. But I'm not, because I post up videos where people have passed. So I can't be doing both. I'm either doing one or the other. I can't be posting videos. Rockwell Collins was another defence contractor. I did them twice. They completely left me alone. Didn't do anything. Complete pass. Got sod all views, about 1,000 views each video.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing lately.
This is what happens with auditor for auditor when he says we're doing it for the reaction, because it completely disproves what you're saying, auditor for auditor, because I've posted videos where I've done exactly the same thing in 2 different places and got 2 completely different reactions, but I've still posted both videos. Right, I don't care whether it gets 1 million views or whether it gets 1,000 views, right? And if anything, auditor for auditor, the most video I posted when I had 1,500 subscribers, I got 250,000 views, and the 2 police officers in that video completely respected my rights to public photography and completely respected my rights not to identify myself. So go and square that circle, cunt face.
There you go. Plod's gone, I think. He's gone for tonight. He's sent his love to everybody, and thanks for being so respectful, guys. In the chat.
I've got something we can discuss. So, do you remember when we went to Blackpool and that incident happened to us both at the train station?
Oh yeah.
Right. So, just for guys in the chat to break it down a bit. So obviously you guys will know wherever you're from, your local train stations and whatnot. Some places have obviously barriers, don't they, where you have to check out with your ticket, and others don't. You can just purely walk straight through and walk straight out, right? No problem. So my station's got barriers. Preston hasn't, and Blackpool has. So when we went to Blackpool a few weeks ago, the ticket machine weren't working, so I couldn't get a ticket. When I got on usually let's just start off by saying I never ever jump the train. I always make sure I buy a ticket as much as possible and whatnot. So jump on the train, no conductor. The conductor don't come round. So when we get to Blackpool, there's these guys stood before the barriers, not actually at the barriers, before the barriers, outside when you get off the train. And tickets, please, the usual. I said, oh, sorry, I ain't got a ticket. Oh, why have you not got a ticket? I says, oh, well, ticket machine weren't working, and the conductor didn't come round on the train. Oh, well, they obviously got the details to fine us. And I'm like, well, I'm stood there with my card in my hand. Why can't I purchase a ticket right now? Because if that journey was in reverse, Blackburn, my station, I've done that before now and been allowed to go and get a ticket. You know what I mean? For the journey, no issue. But these were like adamant, no, we can't do that. We can't sell you a ticket now. You've got on the train, blah, blah, blah. So I was talking with a conductor today at my local station, top guy, brilliant guy. And I told him about what happened. He turned around and said, that's entrapment. They're doing that on purpose. That sounds like entrapment. That was coming from a train conductor himself at my station. And I was quite surprised at that. I wish he had actually filmed it. I really do. So
no, it's true, Kat.
Be careful of
I got that. I were at the same position, remember? And they gave me anyway, I got me a letter through saying you owe us this much. Anyway, it went straight in the bin.
Yeah.
Because for one, they got my name wrong. So stupid they are. No, that was just a short journey from mine, as you know. But when I went to London, I paid the money beforehand, right? And I got on, never asked for my ticket to be shown. Got to Euston, walked straight through and straight out. I didn't have to pay. In hindsight, that would have been brilliant. It would have saved me like 60 odd quid. And that's London.
The moral of the story is if a conductor comes round, you can purchase a ticket on the train. If the conductor comes round, but if the conductor don't come round and there's no barriers there, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
Yeah. We've all done it. We've ran for that train. It's like I've not got time, but I can't do it online. I've not had chat and all that. And you get there. Well, I can buy it on board, surely, like you always have been able to do. But you're right, Kat. Entrapment, I think, is the right word. Whoever said that.
That was words coming from a train conductor, someone that works at the train station. I told him about it, and I was shocked. I told him about it, and he literally said, "That's entrapment." And so I was shocked when he said that to me. I'm like, damn, I wish I were filming in that moment.
Quick answer to that one, rice and peas. Sorry, Fluke, mate. Just a quick answer to this question.
Yeah.
The answer is yes, and very soon.
I didn't know what the question was.
I'm going to be doing some cop shops. And the answer is yes, very soon, but not up north. That's all I'll say for now.
Go on, Fluke. What were you going to say?
Sorry, the only thing I didn't want to dwell on this because it's auditor for auditor, and he's obviously a stroker. So, and he says another thing is you're going out baiting people, right? How do I go out baiting people? I've been a photographer for 35 years, right? I was never baiting people in 1994 when I was out taking pictures. I never got harassed by the police in 1994 for baiting people. I never got harassed by the security guards in 1994 when I was taking pictures. It's only been the last, I don't know, I suppose, but everybody combined, maybe the last 15 years and especially the last 10 years and most especially the last 5 years that we've been getting this hassle. So why wasn't I getting that hassle in 1994, but I'm getting it now?
I shared a community post the other day of I've seen this footage loads of times. It's very old footage, but I've seen it circulate a few times now when it keeps popping up on my recommendation. It's a guy who basically took the last little bit of footage of 9/11. 5 days, I think it was about 5 days before 9/11, and basically he's just visiting the Twin Towers. It's a short film. He has a small interaction with the security guard, And it's something along the lines of, oh, you know, it's not, oh, you're not allowed to take pictures here, you're not allowed to do that, you're just not allowed to use a tripod or something along the lines. Go watch it. But it stems from that, the difference that we get today after 9/11 from that before. You know what I mean? This guy goes up to the ski doing something perfectly legal, taking pictures of these beautiful buildings. He gets approached by a security guard. It doesn't get called a terrorist. It doesn't get no hostile reconnaissance. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? It's a guy stood there doing some photography, and that's all this is.
And this is
you know,
the thing with that is as well is it's kind of like this is where the terrorism state came in, because if you look after 9/11, literally within 3 days after 9/11 happened, they had a statute book this thick, right, like a phone book, right, and it was all legislation to do with the Terrorism Act in the United States, right? How did they write all of that legislation in 3 days and pass it through? Because it was already prepared, you know, because that's what they wanted to bring in. They wanted to bring in the security state, the terrorism state, it's the worldwide fight against terrorism. Do you know what I mean? And it wasn't. It was a worldwide fight against your freedom of your freedoms is what it was. That's exactly what it was. And what they did was just wrote a load of legislation that just said, right, we're going to take all of your rights away from you, and then put in the TSA and all the stuff down the airports that they did, which Bush and his cohorts were all involved in the companies that set up all the TSA stuff, because they all had shares in those companies, but nobody wants to talk about that. So, and then what happened was you had a terrorism state brought in where it was all about your safety and your security, and it wasn't. It was about taking away people's rights. And now we have exactly the same thing, but it's bioterrorism. You know, oh, some Mickey Mouse Iranian man can mix up something in a fucking lab and chuck it out in the world, and oh, that's it. It's a biosecurity state. Now everyone's under biosecurity, because what happened with this is just my opinion, but what happened with the Terrorism Act was people were like, well, you know, stupid people are going to do stupid things, you know, and it's just one of those things we have to accept in a free society, you know, because I'd rather have, you know, freedom, you know, dangerous freedom than peaceful security, you know, and that's how people thought. They were, well, that was in America and that was in London, and then we're just going to have to live with it because stupid people will do stupid things, you know. And that wasn't enough to curtail all of your freedoms, because people just thought, well, I've got to get on with my life, you know. If I get caught up in a terrorist-related incident, you know, that's just life, you know. So they had to cajole people into such a sense of mentality that everybody could be affected, you know, and that's where the biosecurity stuff comes in. Because now it's not just about terrorists might bomb this building or bomb that building, or they might bomb a train station or whatever. They're now just saying, well, breathing the air is somehow, you know, a security issue, and we need to keep you safe because that's what the government's here to do. They're here to keep you safe. Yeah. Now they can encompass everybody into that, because there's no way out. You've cajoled people into such a way of thinking that, well, everybody's going to be affected by this, you know.
Go on, Ben. What was you going to say, mate?
I'd just come back on to say thank you very much for singing happy birthday. That made my day.
Oh.
I've got a
Happy birthday, Ben. Happy birthday, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. I'll make it up to you. In fact, we've already had Mickey Mouse 123 has put a super chat donation in of £10, which YouTube, of course, take 30+% of that, but that's going towards something special towards you, mate. A belated birthday gift, if you like. So I didn't want to stop Fluke in full flow then, and a question came up for Fluke as well, but thanks, Ben. I feel much more relieved now after the pressure I've been under from Biker about it and Plod.
Pressure.
I
I just put you under fucking pressure, you twat.
I just got a question now to ask. Can she make my evening by throwing me a good night kiss?
Yeah. Give her a good night kiss, mate.
Okay.
There you go.
No, worry, just another half a bottle of vodka tonight in the hotel bar.
Fair play.
Mate, you just carry on enjoying yourself and
Have a good night,
you
lad.
know,
I'm off to bed.
Right, see you later.
Right.
fella.
Nice
care,
to know
Ben.
you're having a great time, Ben. Great stuff. Such a great supporter. There was a question for Fluke.
I missed
Who
it.
was
Sorry.
it? No, it was about if our government are the terrorists, then why are we letting so many people in? That was the roundabout question.
That's a difficult one, mate. You can't go down that road. Not right now.
You can.
It's
because
a question, and I think people are allowed to ask questions, and people are allowed to, it's about free speech. So it's a good question.
But I'm just going to go back a bit with what Fluke said earlier about this legislation that the Americans come up with in 9/11 or after 9/11. Do you not think that legislation was already in place when the first Gulf War started?
Yeah, that's what I said. And the thing is, Joe Biden actually brought some of that legislation into place prior to 9/11. So these people were putting this stuff in place before 9/11 happened. So what they ultimately wanted to do was take people's rights. And this is it's the same thing time and time again. The more of your rights they can take away from you, the more and more power they have, and the less and less power you have. That's the ultimate goal. So every piece of legislation that comes in, whether it's America or the UK or whatever it is, it's about stripping you of your rights and ingratiating themselves with more power.
Like I say, that legislation were enacted long before 9/11, mate. A long time before then. It had to have been. Without that.
And it was, and that's what I'm saying, was like 3 days after 9/11, they've got 1,700 pages of laws that violates every American's rights. 3 days after 9/11, this stuff was. How do you write 1,700 pages of law that takes away every fundamental right of an American? Literally 3 days after the attacks, because there's no way you can do it. You couldn't do it.
No, because it were already ongoing.
That amount of legislation in 3 days, you couldn't do it. It's physically impossible. And this is what they do in America. They do the same thing in the European Union as they do in America. What they do is they file all this like 1,700 pages of legislation, and they give it to every representative in the House of Representatives or in Congress or whatever it is, and they give them 3 hours to read it. And you've got to vote on it at 4 o'clock this afternoon. No one's got the chance to read it. It's impossible. So you either go along with it or you go against it, and you don't have an option. Even as a congressperson or as an elected official, you can't even read that amount of information and make a decision on it. It's impossible.
Dave, to be fair, Dave, right? If Fluke is correct, then the West is well on the way to falling. Well, you're right. But it is falling. It's been falling and accelerating quite rapidly.
If you don't think the West has fallen, it's just look at the last 18 months of your life. If you don't think it's fallen, because that's exactly what it's done. They've taken every freedom and right away from us and imposed bullshit legislation, regulations, and everything else with all this, stuff to do with the Kung Flu and whatever else. It's just nonsense. It's about control and fear, and that's all they do, these people. They just lie, cheat, and that you can see
Mike, just carrying on from Mike's last one, Fluke, where he said, the government are the terrorists and why we're letting them in. He's carried on with this one, which is, Mike, all respect, mate, great questions, by the way, okay? So, with that bad, why do so many risk their lives crossing the channel to get here for all a better life? Maybe they've got far less knowledge than of what goes on over here. They just know it's an escape route, and then it goes on from that. Flute, what do you think of that?
That's twofold, because these people aren't coming over here to get away from something so bad. Because, you know, if they could, then they could just have landed in Italy. Apparently, the law states that if you come to the European Union, if you're escaping from a political situation, then you're supposed to take political asylum in the first safe country you come to, right? Now, that could be Tunisia, you know, that could be any North African country is pretty much a safe country, you know. Even if you land in Spain or Italy or in France, that's where you're supposed to take asylum, yeah? The first safe country you come to. It's why are these people all being shifted? And this isn't no different to Italy, because I've got family in Italy and they're saying the same thing's happening there. So why are these people being flooded into countries and then spread around? You know, why would you, if you're safe living in France, why would you risk your life to sit in a dinghy and sail across the most busiest, you know, channel on the world's seas to get to England if you were safe in France? Makes no sense. The reason it makes no sense because it doesn't matter. It's the agenda. The agenda is to disperse all these people around Europe because they want to destroy Europe. They want to destroy America. They want to destroy Australia, New Zealand, and Canada because they want to. Why do they want to destroy these countries? Because they are some of the freest countries in the world. Why did they take the guns away from Canadians? Why did they take away the guns from Australians? Why did they take the guns away from New Zealanders? Why did they take the guns away from people in the UK? Because they want to dominate these countries, because without those countries, and if they can be dominated, everybody else falls into line. If that makes any sense in the briefest description I could possibly give.
There's been a lot of supportive comment in the chat about that, Flute. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a big issue, but
and it's a wider issue as well. It's not simply about. Don't get me wrong. It's not simply about. It's about immigrants and it's about political. You know. I want to leave this country because I'm being chased politically or whatever. It's a multifaceted thing. You know, and the reason it's multifaceted is so that people that want to exert their influence over your country can claim anything. It can be terrorism, it can be COVID, it can be, immigrants, it can be, and all the rest of it. And it's like it's any excuse to violate your rights and violate your sovereignty as a country. And that's the point. They want to violate the sovereignty of your country. That's the point. Because if they can violate the sovereignty of every country, what are they going to end up with? One world government, one world army.
Going back to what you said about gun laws there, about the UK being not allowed to have guns, right? I'm going back to, I think it was 1989, probably 1990, right? I owned a shotgun. I had a license for it. Had it in a cabinet in my house, bolted up. I had an ammunition cabinet, which were bolted up and locked, and that were checked periodically every 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? The Dunblane massacre came along. That's when the gun laws changed. After that, right? It was never about being allowed to carry weapons in public or anything else. You were always governed to where you could carry that rifle. It had to be on private land, right? So my gun was never taken off me. My license was revoked because of the Dunblane massacre, as was everybody else's. I still own my rifle. I still go shooting. I can still go shooting on private land, right?
So Wallace 34. I'll come back to that question in a second.
Yeah, we're just going to bring that fella up. No drama. Okay, it's a question.
Yeah, go on, Eddie.
Just so we come back to it. So fair play. Biker will just carry on, Bull.
Right, I forgot.
Sorry, mate.
Right, I still own my rifle. Right, that rifle is my property. I still own it. Right, my license for that rifle has been revoked. I can only use that rifle now on private land, which before the license were revoked, I could only use it on private land anyway. Right, so the UK public regarding carrying weapons in public was never an issue because it didn't happen. Well, it did happen, but not illegal, sort of in the legal sense of carrying a weapon like you do in America or whatever. Right, my license was revoked because of the Dunblane massacre, as was everybody else's, and you could only use it on private land. You could only ever use it on private land anyway. So it was absolute bollocks of a situation with that. But the UK has never been allowed to carry weapons. Never.
No, I mean, there's a lot of people that argue constitutionally we're allowed to carry weapons. Right now, whether you agree or disagree, you could spend hours diving into that kind of constitutional stuff and 1668 and all the rest of it. And there is a big pile of evidence that says we should be able to, because that's the whole point of the Crown seceding and the Bill of Rights and everything coming to the UK. And don't forget as well, on top of that, the Constitution, every constitution around the world, including the American Constitution, came from the British Constitution. That's where it came from. It didn't come magically out of thin air from somewhere over there. The British Constitution was the original Constitution. It was actually over near, I think it was around 120 years before the American Constitution even came into being. So why is it the American Constitution have a Second Amendment, but the British Constitution that the American Constitution got their Constitution from has a Second Amendment, but we don't? Because we've dropped constitutionality and we've gone back to this nonsense sort of commercial law where they can just, well, we'll write on a bit of paper, 650 people vote and 665 million people have to comply. That's not how the law works. The law only works by consent. If I don't consent to it, you could go down that argument as well. But the point is let's think about this logically, right? If 650 people in the Houses of Parliament vote and say that sausages are illegal tomorrow, then 65 million people in this country can't buy sausages tomorrow. That's nonsense. And that should prove to you what a nonsense situation we're living under. Whether it's COVID, sausages, or guns is irrelevant. Think about it logically, is all I'm saying to people. It's kind of, and going back to that, Wallace, if you like, Wallace 34, if you want me to answer that question, I'll answer it happily.
Which one was that, Fluke?
Something about my parents, because my parents are from Italy originally, so.
I've timed him out because obviously trying to wind you up because you're used to it more than anybody, Fluke. So
what I was going to say was it's an illogical
Ben, by the way,
because my parents lived in the south of Italy. Now, in the 1950s and 60s, when they were growing up, there was no work in the south of Italy. They had to migrate. My father went to France first, then he went to Switzerland, then he went to Germany, and then he came eventually to the UK. And he worked in every one of those 4 countries before he came here, right? He didn't come here claiming political asylum on a dinghy from France when he could have claimed asylum in France. These are supposedly political refugees, right? They're claiming political persecution in their home country to come here. That's not the case with my parents. My parents came here legally and legitimately to earn a living, right? And they did so. My parents never claimed benefits. My parents never claimed housing benefit, unemployment benefit, child benefit, all that bullshit. They came here, they worked their bollocks off all their lives. Both my mum and dad worked, all them full time, the pair of them, and brought up 4 kids. Never claimed a penny from the government, okay? So don't give me that bullshit. Sorry.
They would have got child benefit legally anyway, mate.
Well, I'm not sure if even child benefit it was around in the 1970s, but it
was, mate. Yeah, they'd have got it legally. They wouldn't even have to.
Even if they did, they didn't claim it. right? They just did what they
Yeah,
they
and,
did what,
and that
what
and
was
that as
right.
well. Even before that, it was going on. So
But
it's always
this is
been
the
going
thing
on
that
in some shape or form, really.
This is the ad hominem attacks that people put on other people, and it's like, my parents didn't come here for political reasons. They came here to earn a living, and they have earned a living. My father's now dead. My mum's still alive. She's 80 this year, right? They came here for a reason. They wanted to earn a living, start a family, and earn a good life, own a home, get a mortgage, buy a house, you know, do all the other things that other people wanted. They didn't come here going, oh, I claim political asylum on a dinghy, you know, with no paperwork, and get put up in a 4-star hotel, getting 3 meals a day and a mobile phone and some pocket money every week. That's not why they came here. So don't mix up the bullshit, pal, whoever you are, because that's what you're doing. You're trying to mix up two completely different scenarios.
Yeah.
And trying to make it out to be the same thing.
It's like anyone else. They jump to conclusions. They've read up what they've read up. They've read no further. They've not looked into it. They've made their mind up with that part of information they've read, and that's it. And I'll go back to the civil disobedience chat the other night. I think that's the way he kind of is. Great guy, open-minded, and that's the reason. When yourself and Buzz came on, his open-mindedness, you know, took a lot of more information in that he never thought of before, in my opinion. That's what I got from that
Yeah, I think the other thing with Civil is he obviously, you know, don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Civil. I've always had a really good relationship with him. I've been on tons of his live streams. You know, I've had ding dongs with Crinkle on his live streams and all sorts of ding dongs. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I haven't got a problem with Civil whatsoever. But the problem with Civil to a certain degree is when I say to him, look, it's important that we expose the police for being stupid. We're exposing the fact that they're wasting a ton of public money, you know, to chase people around doing something that they're perfectly legally allowed to do. And even the police's own guidance on public photography says they're allowed to do it. But because of their paranoia, they want to carry on doing it. And then he says to me, well, what's your point? And I thought, well, I thought I just made the point. That's the whole point of me coming on, was to make my point.
Yeah.
I've made my point, and you're saying, what's the point? I've just explained the point.
Wallace 34, obviously your time out is up. I just think you're very narrow-minded with what you're saying. They want to make a better life here. I agree. Okay, same as Fluke's family, he's just explained that. Totally agree. But some of them, a lot of them.
Yeah, but my family didn't get a 4-star hotel and benefits and a mobile phone and 3 squares a day and sit on their ass for the next fucking 8 months, 10 months, a year. They didn't do that. They came here with a fucking suitcase, rented a property until they saved enough money to buy a property by working 2 jobs. My mum and dad both worked full time before they even started having children. So don't give me that bullshit.
Right, guys, I could get into this for the next 7-8 hours, but I'm not going to do. I'm going to go
exactly.
to bed.
You could.
I
we
could
all argue the toss over that. You know,
really could. Yeah, really could.
I think debate would be the right word for it, because you know you're welcome to talk about it on Friday for a while. Debate about it.
Sorry,
that's no problem.
Right. I'm just going to say one thing before I go. We keep hearing on the news about all these Afghans being evacuated to UK, etc. And the Afghans that are being evacuated are the people that are knowledgeable, the dentists, the surgeons, you know, the well up in the game, right? And it's going to be a benefit to bring those type of people into our country, right? Your Afghans.
You there, Biker? Sound's gone down. Yeah, don't forget tomorrow, guys, right? But this kind of talk and more, a lot more, and a lot deeper. 8 o'clock tomorrow, right, on Bastion Radio. That's Mike West's YouTube channel.
Right,
Leah's just put the link up there for that. So guys, whatever you do, there's loads of you have been very interested in what we've all had to say tonight, especially Fluke. So if you want to hear more about all this and more, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on Bastion Radio. Thanks for that, Leah. Matt Kelly.
And tomorrow it's going to be more concentrating about policing in the UK and how it's gone completely fucking tits up and belly up, you know. And I think that needs to be sort of, it's something that me and Mike spoke to on the phone, and I said to him, look, we could talk about auditing all night, but that's not the point. The point is where is policing going in the UK? You know, why are they putting rainbows on the side of their cars because they think it's going to stop people from committing, you know, antisocial behaviour against, you know, the gay and lesbian community or something like that? That's nonsense. That's like putting up, you know, a couple of jail bars on the side of your cars to stop you from, you know, committing crimes and burglary and stuff like that. It's just nonsense. You know, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Right,
so
guys.
It's mainly going to be about policing. Is tomorrow's live.
Cheers, honestly.
Right,
Biker,
I'm going, mate. Right, I've got to get my word in before.
I know, I'm going to take this opportunity as well.
I'm going to be here all night. Right, I'm going. Right, good night, all. Good
Take it easy, Biker. Look after yourself.
I'm going to go
cheers,
as well.
Biker.
Right.
Thanks for tonight, mate.
See you all later. Good night.
Bye.
See you soon, mate.
Right.
Thanks again for like standing in for Plod. In fact, you're better than him. So every week, every Wednesday, it's better if you come on instead of Plod.
Night, everyone in the chat.
Are you going as well?
Yeah, I'm going to go as well. I'm knackered.
All right, yeah, okay. All
You
right,
might want to change your avatar, Kat, because that's not very becoming of you.
Listen, thanks, Kat, anyway. It's always great chatting with you.
Bye-bye.
See you in a bit, Kat. Thanks a lot. Catwoman, you all know a channel. If you don't, sub. Simple as that. Matt Kelly, how you doing, Matt? Good evening, Matt. You might be on mute. Oh, yeah, sound. Plod, you know I don't mean it. And you're in trouble anyway, so you can't say nothing after what you've said tonight. See you soon, pal. Do you know what? It's been great tonight. It always
Sorry,
is.
because I feel like I've dragged you on longer than you wanted to stay on. So if you want me to fuck off, I'll get off.
No, I think you'll find that's my fault, Nige. I said it earlier, just before you came on, and I did mention it to. Yeah, I can hear you, Mark. Yeah, I did say I will take liberties tonight, depending on who's on, what's being said, and I have had a bit of a warning because it's not just my show, it's Plod's as well, but it's on my channel, so I'll take the bollocking off Plod tomorrow, and we'll stay on in my kit. Right, I'll tell you what, I'll cap it at the longest, the 60 in. It went 200 and whatever at one point. But it doesn't matter. If the conversation stays great, the chat stays great, let's keep it on till about maximum 11:30. And then that's definitely it, guys. So
yeah. Well, what I wanted to say, Dino, was about, you know, auditing and lots of things what are being said about it recently. Now, one thing auditing does do, and it will do it for hundreds of thousands of viewers like myself, is they tell them, you know, I'll give you an example. I met a friend of mine. I haven't seen him for a good few years. And he's the same sort of person as me. And I told him I was going to these lockdown events, you know, these marches. Anyway, he started telling me he watches audits. And I said, yeah, I do as well. And he said he was hooked on them. He was absolutely hooked on it. In fact, his wife was telling him, you know, you got to stop watching them. And he started mentioning all the sections and all the things. Now, they're things we didn't know about, you Joe Publics, you know, you me and other people. We didn't know about that. So that's what auditing does for a lot of people, is they, you know, you learn sections. You know, I never knew when the police stopped you, you didn't have to give them your name and address. I never knew that until I watched an audit. So that is one good thing about audits. I know, you know, there's a lot of people say there's baiting. Yeah, there is some of that what goes on, and no one could deny that. And without the baiting, and I suppose without the interactions, especially the, you know, the more aggressive ones, they will get the biggest views. I mean, I tell you, there was one recently. Is it Audit in Wales where the camera got taken off him and it was in his pocket. Now that one was more special than probably any other for one reason only. That policeman never knew that camera was still had a mic and it was in his pocket, I guess. Now he was chatting away, and did you hear what he said? You know, the stuff he was saying is that's what some of these policemen really feel about auditors. You know, they would actually like to do what he done every time, but he didn't realize everyone could still listen to that. So that was a very, very important audit. I mean, I don't know, I think, was that guy an inspector?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, well, there we go. That speaks for itself then, doesn't it? If that's the inspector saying.
I think the other thing about that is try not to think of it from an auditing perspective. And this is what I've always said to people: is think about it from a public's perspective, because you have every right. If you're pulled over by the police, you've got every right to record your interaction with them. You know, and that's what people need to learn, because if that had happened on a traffic stop and that guy acted like he did in that audit, it doesn't matter. The same rules apply. He's got every right to record that interaction in a public place. He wasn't in a restricted area. He wasn't, you know, the fact whether he was at a police station or a library is irrelevant. You know, he's got every right to record that interaction. And this is what people need to understand. And I've said it on my channel so many times for the last 5 years. It's about the fact that we have the right to record them. They record us all the time. You know, the government records us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're the most recorded country on the planet. You know, London is the most surveilled city on the planet. Second only to and the only second country after London is Las Vegas. And you've only got to go and watch some Las Vegas audits and some Las Vegas cop watches to know what that shit's like over there.
Yeah,
you know,
See, look.
this is the thing. What we have is a situation where, like you said earlier, you didn't know about the sections and everything else, right? What I was saying in my very early videos was it wasn't about that, because, you know, cameras were invented. The first personal camera was a Kodak, invented in 1815. Right, CCTV wasn't even started until the Nazis came in, which is a bit strange, but there you go. The Nazis came in the 1930s, 1940s. They started using CCTV. Actually, CCTV was invented by the Nazis, right? CCTV didn't even come into commercial use or public use in the UK till the 1980s. So we're talking about, where does the precedent lie? Who has the right to take pictures in a public place? The precedent lies with us, because personal cameras were invented in 1815, over 150 years before CCTV was even invented. So where does the precedent lie? The precedent lies with us. There's no expectation of privacy in a public place, you know. For them, and all this bullshit about police going, oh, we're recording you on our body camera footage, there's no reason for you to record us. No, you know that you can take that body camera footage and not divulge it. But if I record it, then I can do what I want with it, you know. But that's why you want me to turn my camera off. I've been waiting 3 years for body camera footage from Kent Police, and I haven't received 1 second of body camera footage from Kent Police.
Yeah. See, here's the other thing I want to say as well is the police would probably look at auditors and the viewers that were all police haters. Now, I'm not a police hater.
Nope.
And I've been beaten up by the police twice when I was a youngster. And I did hate them when I was a youngster, but as I got older, you grow up a bit. And you know, I'm not a police hater. I know. I would say most of them are good guys, most, but it's the bad ones, as Plod always says, gives the good ones a bad name. That's my view. I mean, like I said, they probably think we're all police haters. Well, like I said, I ain't, and I've had a couple of kickings from them when I was a youth. You know what I mean? And I got harassed when I was a 15-year-old kid from the police. So what happened was, it's a bit of a long story, but there was I don't know if you would remember it, Fluke, Space Invaders and Pac-Man and all that. Well, we was one of the first in the country to
Defender
work out
was another one, wasn't it? Defender.
Yeah. We found a way to clock up the credits on it, Fluke,
using the old fishing wire.
Yeah, well, it was a string wire.
String wire, that was it. String wire.
That's it, right? Well, we was the first to do that, and I was the first to be arrested with one. And they didn't know what it was, and my friend grasped me up. He snitched on me and told them what it was and what it was used for. So what happened the next day, when I was at school, man, the police rushed. I said to all my mates, whatever you do, don't carry your string wire today, because and the police rushed us. And then they done it a couple of days later and a couple of days later. So I was aware of police harassment when I was 15 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is the other thing orders have got to worry. I mean, like I said, you guys have got a lot of, you know, I don't know if some of them are a bit stupid or they just got a lot of bravery, because, you know, you've seen Live Free with the social services outside his house. Now, listen, they got more powers than the Metropolitan Police, them social services. They can delve into every aspect of your life and they can harass you. And if you've got kids and you've got a young family, I don't think auditing's, you know, it's a dangerous thing, because, you know, these police can push it very far. And I sort of fear for Live Free in a way, because I think he's a decent guy. And I think most auditors are, but I don't know if they realise what they, you know, can get themselves in here if the police start harassing them. It can get pretty naughty, you know what I mean?
It can, and it will do.
Well, it's happening all the time, isn't it?
Especially
all the time. It's consistent. Sorry, Fluke.
No, go on. I was just saying, is especially if they can get their nose into your personal life, they fucking will. And Live Free's got children, so the only way into his personal life is through the children, which is through social services. That's the only way it can happen, right? So you've got to think that behind the scenes, somewhere, somebody's connecting dots and saying, we need to get into the police are either talking to social services or social services are talking to the police or whatever, and they want inroads into this guy's life, you know? And they have to be doing it purely because they don't like what he's doing.
Yeah, but how low can you go
what he's
to get
doing is irrelevant, you know.
Yeah.
You can't just
How
go
low
after
can they
people
go
because
to
you
get
don't
kids
like what they do.
involved?
Yeah, exactly. That's how low these people are.
Yeah, it's a disgusting thing, you know. And what was the other thing? I've been watching a few of the live streams of these extinct rebellion people up in London, and it just looks so, can I say, middle class. Wimbledon look like they go to Wimbledon and eat strawberries and cream. Middle class, you know, women. It just doesn't
with that
sit
is
with me at all. This extinction.
We've got a politicised police now. We've got a politicised police where, if you go back to last year's demonstrations in London and Extinction Rebellion were allowed to get away with whatever they wanted to do, you know, and the police just stood by and did nothing. When Black Lives Matters went and demonstrated, the police stood by and did nothing, you know. Anything on the left side of the agenda is left alone. They can do what they like, and the police just stand around and take the knee and all that sort of bullshit. But when you turn up to an anti-lockdown demonstration, the riot police come out.
Yeah, I know. I
Because
remember the early lockdown.
Because the police have become politicised. And this is
and
what happens in a country where, when your police become political, they take a political stance. You know you've entered a Marxist, communist, socialist state, whatever you want to call it, because The only reason the police are taking a stance is because they're being ordered to take that stance.
Yeah, because they're in
they're not
debt to
whacking Extinction and Rebellion over the head with baseball bats, are they? No.
Yeah.
They're not whacking Black Lives Matter over the head with a bat, are they? No.
Yeah.
But they're whacking anti-vaxxers over the head with a baseball bat. And this is the thing, because and this is the thing I'd like to get across as well, is this is the thing that annoys me about this left-wing so-called woke people, right? They're not woke. They're the most asleep people on the planet. These people are, it's my body, my choice about drugs, right? They're saying if I want to take heroin, I should be allowed to take heroin. If I want to take cannabis, I should be allowed to take cannabis. Fine. That's what you want to do with your body. That's fine by me, you know? But it's my body, my choice when it comes to abortion. If I don't want to have if I get pregnant and I don't want to have I want to have an abortion, then it's my body, my choice. My body, my choice. That's what they scream about from the top of their voices, right?
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to vaccines, that's a right-wing agenda, and because it doesn't agree with the left-wing agenda, it's no longer my body, my choice. It's you're being selfish because you don't want to take the vaccine. To see how the mentality works.
Yeah. Well, I've seen the Australians are going on about it, and it's got pretty bad there in Melbourne. He's actually said to the, you must have seen it on YouTube, where he said to the Prime Minister, said, look, if you want to go out and see this sunshine, you make sure you do it from outside your house, inside your house. And I just thought that's absolutely terrible, you know, meaning they can't have a walk to the beach or whatever. I don't know, it's getting bad out there.
Yeah, it's getting really bad. I've got two of my friends, one lives in Australia and one in New Zealand, and they're just like, the thing is with that is Pure Dance Radio UK, thanks mate. The thing with that is it is twofold. It's like they're so frustrated and so pissed off with it all, but the thing is, so too many people are just going along with it, and the more you go along with it, the more these freaks in government are going to push it and push it and push it. You know, that's what they're going to do. You know.
Did you see that one this week, Fluke, where they said how COVID had changed prisons because obviously they were on 23-hour lockup while the COVID situation was on, and it said it created a calmer atmosphere and the prisoners seemed more happier. Now, I don't believe that for a second. Why would someone want to be locked up for 23 hours and be happier? Do you believe that?
Yeah, you know, you could just come out with the thing with the whole COVID thing is, I think it's just got to a point where they can twist any narrative they want to suit their agenda whenever they want. So, you know, prisons are much better now because of COVID, or if conversely, they could turn around and say, well, prisons are much worse now than they were with COVID, because they could just generate whatever narrative they want because it suits whatever they want to say. If they wanted to say that prisons would get worse because of COVID, they'd use that agenda. And conversely, they could say, oh, prisons are a lot better now because of COVID. As long as it suits their agenda, then they'll just use whatever narrative they want to use. Regardless of what the truth is, they don't give a fuck about the truth.
Yeah. I've been getting text messages as well from my doctor about my oldest daughter. She's 16, and they asking, yeah, your daughter's now old enough to have a vaccine and all that sort of stuff. And I thought, well, hang on a minute, it's nothing to do with me no more, is it? I thought you said it was they can make their own choice up.
Guys, sorry to interrupt. I know I've been off for a few minutes, but Leah, thank you. Yeah, this is Wednesday. On Friday, it's so hard, guys. Same for me. But on Friday, guys, please feel more free to talk about this. And don't forget tomorrow at 8 on Bastion as well. There'll be more about all this, much more. But on Wednesdays, guys, thanks, Leah. I'm sorry. I would love to, for many more hours, as well. Like a lot of you have said in the chat, we could talk about this for hours. It's so interesting, Fluke, and Mark, you're brilliant and all that.
Sorry, Dino, that's
Thanks
my
so
fault.
much, guys,
I
but
get
no
carried
apologies
away with it.
needed, because, I wouldn't say I've fallen into the same trap. It's just so important, a subject, extremely. It needs to be talked about, but unfortunately, it's not just my live tonight. It's someone who's absent, who's been in there, but who's absent from what normally happens on Wednesday. So it's not for Wednesday. We will talk about it, but we won't carry it on, I think, is probably the best way of putting it.
Fair enough.
But on Friday,
well, if you're going to come on the
we
live
can do-
tomorrow on Bastion's channel tomorrow, it's mainly going to be doing about policing, but obviously because of the whole policing of COVID as well, I'm sure that will come into it. But it's mainly going to be to do with policing, and we're going to touch on auditing as well as enforcement and everything else. So it is going to be generally about policing, but I'm sure we'll obviously touch on the inevitable subject because that's being enforced as well, and it's being politicised, and that's the problem. The problem we have in this country of our police have become politicised. They're no longer impartial.
So there you go, guys. That's what tomorrow's going to be about. So it's on screen now. All those of you people who are very interested in this, there you go. Tomorrow night, all the policing shit's going to come out. So make sure you tune in for that. I know I will. So, Steph, how you doing? Good evening. Anyone else new who's joined, thanks so much. It's going to go on till 11:30 latest, and that's it, guys. Sorry about that interruption, Mark.
That's all right. I'll change the subject because there was something
Sorry,
I
I've just
found
got to
quite
send a text
amusing.
message quickly. Sorry, mate.
Sorry,
I've just got to jump off for a sec.
I heard
okay.
a frauditor's voice for the first time. I swore it was Bikereddie. I thought it was Bikereddie.
Yeah. Loads of us. I mean, it's so. I've never heard a voice as similar, to be honest. It's
just
definitely not the same guy because they were on the same live.
Yeah.
And I speak to Biker as a top guy. Biker's a top guy. He does a lot of work behind the scenes.
I've listened to him. He knows a lot.
Yeah, he does a lot of work behind the scenes as well, Mark. For
he just said something there about Afghanistan, which good. Yeah. He was talking about Afghanistan when he left, and I was watching a few things about it, and it was the origins of the Taliban, and basically it was the Russians in the 80s when they displaced 3 million people, mainly women and children, because the Mujahideen stayed and fought them in the mountains. These 3 million people basically went to the Peshawar district of Pakistan. Pakistan and Afghanistan border didn't really even exist. It was drawn up by the British 100 years ago, but they're the same sort of people. Anyway, these kids obviously were living in tents for years, and then these madrasas, brought them in and educated them, so they had something to thingy. And then they also trained them in combat, and that is the birth of the Taliban. That's where they came from the leftovers of the Russians, which, it's. I was thinking, well, what if that happened again? Then you'd be with another version of another terrorist mob, wouldn't you?
I think that's happened, though, Mark. That has happened, hasn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, you go back in history, and it's such a group and an extremist and all this. Then it's moved on to this group and that group and this group, and then we all found out. Hang on, these guys have just been trained up by the Western style, if you like.
Yeah. Well, it's the same as Iraq as well. I mean, the Iraq had no terrorists at all.
No, exactly. My brother went to.
They had their troubles inside their own country, but externally they had no terrorists at all, and now thousands of terrorists. Same as Libya.
Yeah.
So I think this has got to be a lesson for the West, and even the Russians, and maybe even so the Chinese. Leave these people alone to sort out their own way as they live. They've
Yeah,
lived for
I
thousands and
understand that,
thousands
mate,
of
but
years.
it's all part of that agenda, if you like. It's all part of that. It's control, and it's all that. We only ever go to war with people. They can't win. They can't. The type of
Well,
thing.
you can't.
No one's coming
You
to our country, bombing our country, and things like that. But we make out as if they are.
Yeah,
And
you
it's
could
us
never.
what are doing all the damage. You know.
Yeah, Dean, history tells you can never just walk into another country and stay there. It just can't happen. You know what I mean? You can't stay there forever. I mean, obviously, I guarantee you, if Afghanistan was oil rich like Iraq was, they probably wouldn't have left.
Yeah, yeah. It's personally, I don't think it was just for oil, things like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was strange when I saw, these things talking about the Iraq War. It said basically everything was wrecked, banks, everything, apart from anything to do with the oil industry. The only thing left alone when in Baghdad and all the cities, Basra, anywhere what had something to do with oil was left alone, but the rest was just destroyed.
I mean, all you've heard in the last 30 odd years is that country's crashed, that economy's crashed, that economy's crashed.
Yeah.
And it's all about shutting down that. I mean, there's very few countries that are wealthy now compared to the rest of the world. But I do think all those wealthy countries are kind of in on it together.
Yeah, you could
they
be
just
right.
crush resources down. So those countries what have been crushed and all the resources have gone, that means they have to then become reliable upon the ones who have got all the resources, which are now just a very few. So do you know what I mean? They didn't have much in the first place, but what they did have, it's been taken from them. So then they become totally reliable then on what we already had, what we've developed. I say we, the Western world, and that what they had has been taken away completely. So they can't rely on anything anymore in within their own country or resources. They have to, like we get imported, sounds daft, fruit and veg and imported foods and products where we don't really need to. We can do it ourselves. Like this country, Germany, France, great engineers, great people who can produce food and things like that. We can have it all for ourselves. But I think a lot of these wars are down to we drain them of all resources. They can do it for themselves, but not as good as we can, which means they make no money and things like that. But if they become totally reliable on us, we're making more money, and we've got them totally under control. They can't live without us and things like that. And I think a lot of wars are about that equals profit.
Yeah, well, there was a great thing. I think it was Jim on the Spectrum posted about a month ago, and it was one of the Rothschilds from the 1456 or something, and she had said to put nations and people deeper into debt, so they're deeper and deeper into our power. And I thought, well, things ain't changed much then, have they? That was written in 1456, so things have not changed much, have they?
There you go. And back then it was a bigger battle. You know, less resource, the weaponry and all that and technology. And then because I think we've advanced so quickly through money and things like that, and they've declined so rapidly at the same time over the last generation or two, or since the Second World War.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Drained of all resources now, the rest of the world, if you like, compared to the westernized world, the new world, they have become completely reliable upon us. Yet we still go to war with them and call them terrorists and things like that. And but they have to keep going to war to keep them subdued, because when you hit rock bottom, you naturally start to try and build up again. So they keep that suppressed, and that's why I think war's constant in some respect.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go on, Flute.
How are you doing, Flute? Welcome back,
yeah,
man.
so I just wanted to come in on what Mark said. when you were talking about Afghanistan and Iraq, you were correct in the sense that in Iraq it was not only to do with regime change, because Saddam Hussein was the Americans' lapdog all the time he was fighting against Russia. Do you know what I mean? And then as soon as he changed tact, then they changed tact as well and said, well, now you've got weapons of mass destruction and all this stuff. They use that lapdog until it's worn out, and when it doesn't suit their narrative anymore, they change. The mainstream media changes the way they proceed. The way they make the American people perceive Saddam Hussein to be. Then he's a guy with method and mass destructions, and he uses chemical weapons against his own people. Who supplied those chemical weapons to Saddam Hussein in the first place? It was the British government and the French government supplied those weapons of mass destruction and those chemical weapons to Saddam Hussein in the first place, right? Because they wanted him to use them against Iran, right? And against Russia in the 1970s and 1980s. So that wasn't nothing new. They supplied him with those weapons, and then they've got the excuse to then go in 20 years later and say, you've got weapons of mass destruction, you can't have them, and it wasn't about the weapons of mass destruction. It wasn't about the fact that he used those weapons against his own people. It was the fact of the oil. That's what they wanted, and the same thing happened in Afghanistan. And Afghanistan, if you look under the Taliban, you go back to 2002, I think it was 2000, when the Taliban were in power in Afghanistan, opium production went to nearly zero in the most, profitable region that produces the best opium on the planet was Afghanistan. And then within a year of America invading Afghanistan, opium production went from nearly zero to 97% of the world's fucking production of opium. And who benefited from that? It was Big Pharma, because if you go back and look, you can Google search this if you like. If you go back and look, if you go look at the opioid addiction in the United States, where literally people going to the doctor and going, oh, I've got a bad arm, or I've got a bad shoulder, or I've got a bad leg, and all they were doing prescribing opioid drugs to get people addicted to opium. That's what they were doing. They were using a pharmaceutical way of just addicting as many Americans as they can into opioid drugs, and that's what they did. And the only way they did it, you can Google search American troops guarding poppy fields in Afghanistan and just click on images, and you'll come up with a million images of guys with guns and all weaponized to the hilt protecting poppy fields in Afghanistan. What do you think they were there? They were there for the benefit of the Afghani people? No, they weren't. They were there for the benefit of pharmaceutical companies. That's what they were there for the benefit of. And you can go and look it up, mate. Honestly, you can even go and look up on Google. You put in you research this, right? The 10 biggest pharmaceutical companies in America, right? Write down all their names, then go to Yahoo Finance, right? Type in those company names into the search bar, and you'll come up with the biggest institutional investors into those top 10 American pharmaceutical companies, and you'll find that it's BlackRock and Vanguard, right? Two of the biggest companies in America, biggest investment companies in America. Between BlackRock and Vanguard, I think BlackRock are up to about $8 trillion worth of investment, and Vanguard are up to nearly $9 trillion worth of investment. And they're both the biggest investments in every defense contractor in America and every pharmaceutical company in America as well. I've researched this myself, and I've done it on Bastion Radio's channel as well. And I can prove everything I've got to say, because it wasn't about protecting Afghanis from their government. It wasn't about their human rights. Why was Parliament recalled recently in this country for the Afghan situation? They didn't recall Parliament over the absolute violation of our fundamental human rights, was it? No. They didn't recall Parliament for that, but they recalled Parliament for what's going on in Afghanistan. What a load of absolute nonsense. And people fall for this shit on a daily basis. I could
Absolutely. Yeah. Guys in the chat, thanks so much for all your positiveness tonight. Superb. And your support for Mark, Fluke, and myself, and everyone else who's been on. It's been fantastic again, guys. Real talk, real people. Yeah. Don't forget Friday.
Going
Fluke will
to
be
this
on.
demonstration on Saturday.
Okay, Mark, what's that about?
Well, you've got the freedom demonstration Saturday. I'm sure it's Saturday. If it ain't, I'm going there on my own.
Is that in? Where's that at?
Breaking up.
Yeah.
Well, it's in London.
Yeah, whereabouts, Mark?
There should be a big crowd there. I mean, well, they haven't said yet. It's the one once they've been doing every month for the last 6 months. It should
could be Hyde
pretty
Park
big.
then.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you, Mark?
I start somewhere else. Yeah, I'm losing you. Keep losing you. Can you hear me?
It's fine. Take your time. Yeah. You just keep breaking up and freezing. That's all. But carry on. You're all right, mate. Yeah. So yes.
It's at Hyde Park.
Down in London. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of the freedom marches. It should be pretty big. I think it's this Saturday. I'm sure it is.
Okay. Would that be Hyde Park, Mark? Or...
Yes. Yeah. It normally starts there. Yeah.
So there you heard it, guys. If you're interested, you know what I mean. That word freedom for me is enough. Especially if I'm in that area, that'd be a priority. Just got to see what's going on anyway. But yeah, thanks for that, Mark.
Yeah, I'll try and get some footage.
Yeah,
especially
hopefully.
if it kicks off with the police.
Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah,
Can I
Mans.
just come back
Mans is back. Thanks, Mans. Yeah, it is Hyde Park. Saturday. So if you can, guys, show your support for freedom. Beanbags, how you doing? Good evening, Fat Fingers as well. No way out of this mess politically. You want your freedoms, you'll have to fight for them. The ones pulling the strings will make sure you do. Absolutely correct. Okay.
Can I just quickly touch on some research that I did, which I go into depth with in Bastion Radio's channel, and that's already up on YouTube, and you can watch it. And it's been another guy called AD 1984 on BitChute has been sharing bite-sized chunks of those videos, because some of these live streams are like 4 hours. So it's very difficult for people to share this information because nobody's going to watch a 4-hour live stream. But what he's done is he's chopped up these live streams into like 10-minute chunks and posted them to BitChute. And I'm sure Leah knows his link. But here's just a brief overview of the information that I researched. Right now, Goldman Sachs, World Economic Forum, right? 2 top investors in Goldman Sachs, Vanguard and BlackRock, right? And they're also linked to the UN Foundation, right? Second, Gavi, World Economic Forum, right? Also linked to the UN Foundation. Pfizer, World Economic Forum, top 2 investors, BlackRock and Vanguard, right? Also linked to the UN Foundation, right? Johnson & Johnson, another vaccine provider, World Economic Forum partner. Vanguard and BlackRock are the top 2 investors in that company. Also a member of the UN Foundation, right? Apple, World Economic Forum partner. Top 2 investors, Vanguard and BlackRock, right? Also UN Foundation affiliates, right? Apple, World Economic Forum partner. Top 2 investors in Apple are Vanguard and BlackRock, and they're also UN Foundation affiliated. Coca-Cola, not affiliated with World Economic Forum, but top 2 investors in Coca-Cola, Vanguard, BlackRock, and they're also part of the UN Foundation, right? JP Morgan, World Economic Forum partner. Top 2 investors in JP Morgan, Vanguard, BlackRock, also UN Foundation. right? Facebook is another one. World Economic Forum partner, top 2 investors, first and second two top 2 investors, Vanguard, BlackRock, also UN Foundation. Procter & Gamble, World Economic Forum partner, top 2 investors, Vanguard, BlackRock, also UN Foundation partners, right? Visa, again, World Economic Forum partner, Vanguard and BlackRock, top 2 investors in Visa. And they're also, no, they're not linked with the UN Foundation, right? Amazon, World Economic Forum partner, top 2 investors, Vanguard, BlackRock, UN Foundation, right? Amazon, I just said Amazon. Microsoft, World Economic Foundation partner, top 2 investors, Vanguard, BlackRock, and World Economic Forum and UN Foundation funders. That doesn't tell you what's going on in the world. I don't think anything will.
This is it, guys. Go and research these things. Like Fluke said many times before, it's all out there for you to read. You know, just type things in. Just listen to what people are saying and type it in. You can find all this stuff out for yourself.
The thing is, Dino, as well, is what we did on the live streams, and you can see the bite-sized chunks, and they're listed on the BitChute channel as well, is I show you physically how you can do this yourself. It's not hard to do, you know. I've literally done, we've done like a video where we just literally chopped up how you can research this, how it's linked to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, how the COVID stuff was all linked to that, how you can link all this stuff to BlackRock and Vanguard, is the 2 biggest institutional investors on the planet.
You must admit, guys, some of you in the chat, myself and Mark, probably, all these names what are coming up by Fluke, some of these names I've not heard of. Yeah. So let's look into them. Please look into this, guys. Please do not take Fluke's word for it.
No,
okay.
Don't
Believe a word he says. That's the best way to start. Don't believe anything we say. Unlearn everything first. Start again. If you're interested, which I know a lot of you are, you're asking good questions, you're getting great answers and things like that. I've had a couple of people in the chat saying, I think it was Mike Barr. Maybe you've gone Mike. I think you're a supporter of all of us. And you put a comment up saying, whatever Fluke was saying at that point, you came up and said, I didn't think of it that way, Fluke. And when people say to me, like live streams and things like that, and we get nowhere and we go around in circles, most of the time I think we do. Okay. But sometimes we get people saying, I didn't think of it that way. And then they carry on from that point. Please carry on from that point. Do your own research. It's all out there. Come on a live. Listen to us, okay? You've got Bastian, you've got Fluke. Mark is a great contributor to great conversations, and many other people as well. Please carry on listening, but get out there and do your own research, because it's there for you to find. And that's what Fluke's been saying all along, guys. He's doing the bloody hard work for many people, you know what I mean? Massive respect. Anyone who's joined, listen, I'm going till 11:30, and that's it. And you know me. If this were Friday, this would be early days.
Okay. What I'd like to impart on people that's really important is the fact that this research isn't hard to do. It's really simple, right? Leah put up the link to 1984 AD, which is the BitChute channel. It's in the chat. Click on that, go subscribe to this guy, because what he does is he takes mine and Bastian's live streams and chops them up into 10-minute videos.
Is that the right one, Fluke?
That's the one. That's superb. Thank you, Leah. And he chops them up into 10-minute bite-sizable chunks that are shareable. So you can share them with your friends. Because if you share a 4-hour live stream with a friend, it's highly unlikely they're going to watch it. So we made an appeal to people in the chat on one of our live streams to say, if anyone wants to chop up these videos and put them into 10-minute chunks so you can share them with people, this guy took up the baton and he's absolutely run with it. He's just literally, we do a live stream on, say, a Monday night, for argument's sake. Tuesday morning, bang, there's 4 or 5 videos up on BitChute straight away. And this is what we all need to do. We need to band together and do this, because even if you just take his videos and share them again, or chuck them on another channel, or chuck them on another platform, that's the good thing to do, because the more this information gets shared, the better. And like I said, if you share a 5-hour live stream, who's going to watch it? Your average normal is not going to watch
Just
it.
like Danny said, bang on, 100%. Absolutely, guys. You've heard it. You know what I mean? Just get on it. Just get on it. Answer your own questions. If I can just go back, sorry, Fluke, mate. It's just someone. I think someone's put a donation in, and I've missed it. As always, guys, the chat on my lives, Fluke's lives, and all that, it just flows. And it's very hard when you're running a live to keep up with everything. So I don't want to make excuses, but I think someone's donated $4.49. Thank you so much. It was that Mike Barr. Thank you so much, Mike. It means a lot. Mickey Mouse as well earlier on, that £10 donation. In fact, Mike as well, if you don't mind. Earlier on, you might have missed it. Ben, who's a massive supporter, a community supporter, as Leah puts it perfectly. He supports all this kind of cause, us kind of people, and things like that. Mickey Mouse donated £10. You've donated $4.40. That goes towards Ben's birthday present, a belated one.
I just want to say something
as well. But can I, Mark? I'm sorry, mate.
Sorry,
only one more thing, that's all, because it's beanbags, and he did ask Fluke a question early on in the chat, but like I've just said, it goes so flowingly and it moves on and on, and it's so hard to keep up. Beanbags, do you want to put that question back in, or shall I try and find it first? It was for Fluke. I'll do my best here, guys. Ian Southern, how you doing? Ask Fluke if you can read my message. Okay. Let me go back. Just bear with me, guys. Sorry. If anyone asks a question to anyone in the panel and we keep talking and we miss it, then if I see it, I'll try and go back. Then we can answer it.
And don't get me wrong as well. If I can't answer people's questions, I'll hold my hands up and say I don't know the answer. I'm not going to come up with some
absolutely, guys.
response.
You know that. You know that. Do you want to put that question back in, Beanbags, please? Because I can't find it on the chat. Okay, is it this one? Dealers were and maybe still are paying addicts to go to other states and get dodgy doctors to give prescription drugs by saying, I know this has gone off subject, but he's just asked, can Fluke answer? By saying they got a bad back, etc. So I'll repeat that. Dealers were and maybe still are paying addicts to go to other states and get dodgy doctors to give scripts by saying they've got a bad back, etc.
Right. The answer to that is yes, basically, because the whole point of this is you've got major pharmaceutical companies buying off doctors. They're literally saying to doctors, you can win a holiday to Florida, or we'll give you so many bonuses if you write so many prescriptions. So the doctors are now invested financially in this. So it doesn't matter, because if you turn up to a doctor's and say, I've got a bad arm and I need so many fucking opioid drugs for this, the doctor, the more prescriptions he writes, the more money he earns. So he doesn't give a shit whether he writes them to you because you've got a bad arm or not. He doesn't give a toss, because he's going to earn out of it. This is the problem. And here's a simple thing you can do. You just type into Google Pfizer criminal history, right? And see what it says. It says quite clearly, Pfizer is a habitual criminal entity, right? That involves itself in bribing physicians in America. So bribing doctors, suppressing adverse trial reactions, right? And have taken over I've been fined in criminal convictions and jury awards and fines by the US state to the tune of $3.2 billion. Would you take a vaccine from a company that was that badly convicted?
Fluke, black market. Beanbag sent the guy who asked that question. He's saying, you know, he's mentioned the black market.
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's a black market in opioid addictive drugs. Don't get me wrong, but there's also a pharmaceutical market. That's the point. This is a regulated, government-funded, you know, pharmaceutical-run black market in opioid drugs. That's the whole
Beanbags,
point.
no problem, Beanbags. Mans, did you have a question? Have we missed that question? I'm sorry if we have. You know what it's like. What was the question you wanted Fluke to answer, or was that the one he's just answered from Beanbags? Let us know. He'll definitely answer it. So if you put that question up again, or was that the question from Beanbags? Whatever. Listen, guys, I know I said 11:30, and
I'm just going to do this quickly, if you don't mind, Dean, because this is something. Again, this is about research that everybody can do. Right? This is not hard work. It doesn't take hours and hours. Well, it does take a few hours of research, but I can do this in 5 minutes flat. Right? There's a university in UK called Cranfield University. Right? Now, between 2012 and 2019, this university took £32 million worth of donations from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right? One of their CEOs and supporters is the CEO of Barclays, right, which is a World Economic Forum partner called Anthony Jenkins, right? Another guy was called Anthony Bond, who's the chairman and CEO of Asda, which is owned by Walmart in America, which is also a World Economic Forum partner. Andy Partman, CEO of Aston Martin, was pictured giving a speech at the World Economic Forum, and we've got a photograph of that as well. Warren East is the CEO of Rolls-Royce Holdings, right? He was also the former CEO of World Economic Partner of Arm Holdings, which is major portion of their buildings, Arm Holdings. Their major contribution is to artificial intelligence, right? Then there was a lady called Winnie. I can't pronounce the surname, so I'm going to try and butcher it. Biantima, right? She's linked to the UN, and she's also one of the directors of a fund called the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Malaria, and Tuberculosis, which was funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, who took. Don't get me wrong, this was one donation of 32 listed on Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's website. One donation, just one donation in December of 2020. Who was talking about AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria in 2020? No one. No one was talking about that, were they? Right? This is the donation that they took in December of 2020 from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, $731,783,690. You can screenshot that if it makes any else.
There you go, guys. Listen, 3 minutes, Fluke. As always, mate. Thank you so much.
I just want people to realise that the information's there. You do have to dig for it. They don't make it easy, but you know it is there. You can find it out. And I'm just a guy in a laptop with a mobile phone in a little room in the middle of nowhere. But if I can do it, you guys can do it. So
same here. I can vouch for that. I've done it myself. I can honestly say there it is. It's out there. You've got to dig. Okay, they're not going to put it up on page 1, top headline. Keep digging. Okay. Fluke, honestly, mate, I'll see you on Friday. Yeah.
Thanks again for having me on,
guys. So don't forget tomorrow, though. More importantly, tomorrow, Fluke on. See you later, Mark. But yeah, 8 p.m. tomorrow, Bastion Radio, Fluke and Bastion are going to be talking about police issues and things like that. It's been spoken about tonight, so you get the gist on that. Everyone else who's been in the chat, people who've been in from minute one, as always, thank you so much, massive. Everyone who's asked superb question. In fact, everyone in the chat tonight has been brilliant. The live stream has gone superbly again. Thanks so much. I'm going to get in trouble later because it was meant to go on till 10 p.m. But I didn't know Fluke were coming on, so I'm blaming Fluke for that, even though I'm just as bad. So tomorrow night, 8 p.m, Bastion Radio, guys. Okay? Don't forget that, whatever you do. And then come back on Friday. Fluke will come on kind of later on in the night after the first couple of hours where we just have a good laugh and that. And we get into stuff like this, which is very, very important. Okay? But between now and then, tomorrow and Friday, get your head into that PC or a book or whatever and dig for this information we've been talking about tonight, because it's extremely important and it will mean a lot to you, especially in this current climate, as we say.
Yeah, thanks again to Leah for putting up the link. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Leah, as we know, goes without saying. I've run out of so many words for Leah, but just massive love, Leah. Thank you so much. Daddy Oka, beanbags, honestly, no, do you know what? Thank you guys, because your questions, your comments and everything have been so positive. That is what urges us on in conversation. So we couldn't think, I think Fluke will admit here as well, we couldn't think as harder without you pushing us to a certain degree. In asking questions and coming up with your own opinions. And that's what it's all about. It's called debating. And thanks so much for joining in a decent, a very well-mannered, very respectful debate tonight. Again, guys, thank you so much. 8 o'clock tomorrow. Leah, do you know what? Why does someone come backstage so late? Do you know what, Winston Smith? I'll give you one guess who this could be. Like, right at the very end. Crinkle, fuck off. See you later. Listen, guys, Wednesday night, Plodology. Same again next week. I hope Fluke will come back on. Loads of respect to you all. Thanks so much. Okay.
I just want to say quickly, thank you to everyone in the chat, and thanks for having me on, Dino. I appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure for me, mate. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Okay. Tune in. Don't forget 8 p.m. tomorrow and round about 8 p.m. on Friday, and we'll carry all this stuff on and keep your questions coming. But in the meantime, let's have a dig. Let's have some research. Let's keep finding. And the more you find out, the more questions you'll have, and you can bring that on to our next live streams. Good night, guys. Thanks so much. Nice. See you soon, mate.
Take care, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.